A week on from the Hungarian Grand Prix, Formula One heads into the summer break. It's round 14 of the most famous circuit of all. We're at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in the Ardennes Forest of Belgium. It's round 14 of the season then, and 7 different winners in the opening 13 races. Piastri's victory in Hungary means that now Verstappen's not won since June in the Spanish Grand Prix. But we're in for an interesting round because here in Belgium, it's Max's sort of home race along with Lando Norris. It could be interesting what those two get up to. After this then, it's into the summer break before the Netherlands takes us in August. Then over to September with Italy, Azerbaijan and Singapore. October takes us back to the United States at the Circuit of the Americas, followed then by Mexico. November takes us to Sao Paulo and the streets of Las Vegas, whereas December rounds us out in the deserts with Qatar and Abu Dhabi. In the Drivers' Championship, Max Verstappen leads 265 points. Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc second and third, 189 and 162. Sainz moves up to fourth and Piastri in fifth. Hamilton now overtakes Perez for 1 point difference for sixth. Russell eighth. Alonso Stroll rounds out the top 10. No change on the second page. Tsunoda now level on points with Hulkenberg on 22. Ricciardo is on 11 points. Behrman and Gasly still on 6 with Magnussen 5, 4 for Albon, 3 for Ocon. Still no points for Zhou Guanyu, Logan Sargent or Valtteri Bottas. In the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull lead the way to McLaren 389 to 338. Ferrari have 322. They're clear to Mercedes on 241. Aston Martin more than half clear to RB 69 to 33, but it's Haas who are closing in the RB team. Alpine comfortably in 8th as well. They're ahead to Williams 9 to 4. Sauber still no points to their name. Let's take a look around the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. It's been on the calendar since 1950, it's one of the originals as well, and over 7 kilometres, it's the longest track on the calendar. Get a good exit out the last corner and boot it hard across the line down towards turn 1 at La Source as well. Heavy braking zone all the way down into third gear. Hug the inside line as well. Let the car drift out. Use all available curve as you head downhill on the original start-finish straight before you head to Eau Rouge, the red water. Hit the bottom at Eau Rouge, rise up the hill as you reach the top of the crest at Raidillon. The car unsettles itself as it sort of balances out and then you start. Open up the DRS as you head down the Camel Straight all the way down towards the Lacombe chicane. 8th gear, flat out, hit the brakes at 100km boards, flick the car in 4th gear, ride the curves as you come in towards Malmedy. Keep on the throttle as well. You can now pretty much take it flat out as you head downhill towards Ravage. Nice double apex corner as you try to loop it back up. Coming through now, Jochen oh, the Speaker's corner, flicks through as well. Take a wide exit because now you're going to effectively go downhill towards Puong. Flick the car in, drop down to 6th gear from 8th. Maximum throttle for the second half as well. You can take all the speed as you come up towards the Fagnes chicane. Down from 8th gear all the way, full in 5th gear as well. Maybe pull down to 4th depending on what the grip is like as well as you approach the fearsome Stavolo as well. Flick the car in, mid-power exit, full power as you come round the curve de Port Frere 1 and then up towards curve de Port Frere 2. This used to be an original part of the street circuit here as well. It's the entrance of the circuit as you fly through the second half as you approach Blanchimont. Flat out, hug the inside line as well, flick the car in and hope for the best. The bus stop chicane then as well, down all the way to 2nd gear. 2, the one to the right, 1 to the left, back on the accelerator at the exit, DRS open as you cross the line, and that is a lap of the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. The last race before the summer break, and it has to be here. Eau Rouge, we look down upon, is the most feared corner in all of motorsport. It seems fitting then that the last race before the summer break comes here. Welcome to round 14 of F1 2024. It's the 2024 Belgium Grand Prix. Yes, we really are in for something special here this weekend with Charles Leclerc on pole position as well, starting 11th on the grid. That comes through as well, but it does seem to be a bit of deja vu if you think about it as well for the team. Just take a look at this graphic that's come up via Sky on the monitor as well, because if we look at it, 2022's Belgian Grand Prix is the same as 2023 and 2024. Verstappen tops qualifying but gets a grid penalty. Ferrari inherits pole position with Perez on the front row and Hamilton on the second row. And in both previous years, it's been Verstappen as the race winner. Red Bull have always won a 1-2 and the pole sitter has always finished in third position. Now in 2022, that was Charles Leclerc. 2023, that was Carlos Sainz. And once again in 2024, that appears to be Charles Leclerc. I mean, JT, I'm not one for omens, but if omens ever exist, I think Spa's the place to have it. That's an insane stat. But today, Verstappen doesn't come from 11th, doesn't come from 10th. He comes from 14th on the grid to come back. So he comes from 11th on the grid to come back. It's a huge comeback for him, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think Verstappen will get it, as I'm just having a quick look at the highlights. Oh, that, yeah.
The F2 crash, yeah. Behrman at the start.
How did they get there?
I told JT just to go on here about Behrman and Marty's accident. How did they get to the inside barrier at Dawn? I've got no clue either. But do you think Verstappen's got a shot at winning this one? 11th on the grid. I mean, in 22 and 23, he had the best car. But coming into this year, we've now got three other teams battling Red Bull. All of them winners. Perez, on the front row, but he's a shadow of his former self. It's a really interesting Grand Prix ahead of us.
It is an incredibly interesting Grand Prix ahead of us. But I don't think Verstappen will be able to do this today. Might be a good idea if I open Twitter, not Messenger, to do all of my pick winners. My word.
I don't know what you're doing.
But yeah, it is... Verstappen, I think, will get on the podium. Win, we'll have to see.
Yeah, well, if you take a look at the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors as they appear here on our monitors, look at the gap. Max Verstappen leads by 76 points to Lando Norris, but there's a 27-point gap between Norris and Charles Leclerc. Leclerc starts on pole position. Norris, he starts 4th on the grid. It's tighter in the Constructors, though. Red Bull just 51 clear to McLaren, but it's really the battle further back. Sauber, though, I want to pick up on here, JT. They start 14th and 20th on the grid as well, with Bottas 14th, Zhou in 20th. I mean, they've scored no points in the driver's standings. We've got Bottas 21st in the 20 Driver Championship. Zhou's out there. Sauber, no points in Constructors. I mean, they really are looking like the worst team on the grid right now. And amid rumours that Audi looking to pull out of sponsorship already, and they don't want it because it seems like Sauber for the last 2 years are just going to play, well, it's not our business anymore, we don't really care. There's no fight down there at the team.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we've got the changes with Audi coming in, with Binotto and everything like that. And I'm not going to question what Joe has been doing on the Grid Network, because the pick a winner tweet is age-restricted adult content.
Well, I know it's a bit randomised pick a winner at the moment, but that's certainly one way to go about it, certainly, as it comes into it. So we'll keep an eye on that as it goes through. Norris has told people on the grid, as well as we look down at the McLaren garage now, that Red Bull's going to be very fast on the grid. I'm excited, ready to go, and optimistic we can have a good result. But we know the Red Bulls will be very fast, so a bit nervous about them, but excited we can put on a good race. I do think as well, McLaren have got to get themselves up after last week. They're on the back now. We've got 2 race winners, Norris and Piastri. They've both won Grand Prix. Oscar's won the sprint last year in Qatar. But now coming here, the strategy's got to be right for them. They've got to be on the right one. They've got a great shot here today because they're faster than, they know they're faster than Perez, and they know they're faster than the two Ferraris, so it should be a better situation as well. But Oscar Piastri as well, this is what Lando actually had to say on the grid.
The wet setup from yesterday, in the jacket choice anyway. But I know you had the car set up for the dry. How happy were you this morning to look out of the window and see bright sunshine at Spa-Francorchamps?
Very happy. A nice sunny day here, which is rare. Very excited, ready to go. Optimistic we can have a good result. But we know the Red Bulls are going to be very fast. So a little bit nervous about them, but yeah, excited we can put on a good race still.
Car looks phenomenal out there this weekend. Do you think you can maintain your tyres, particularly through that second sector where we know it's so tricky and you're carrying that slightly lower wing level than the Red Bulls?
It's tough. I mean, at the minute, the Red Bull is still a much quicker car, so it's going to be tough to keep them behind. But if you can keep them behind for a good amount of laps, then maybe they have less and less chance to get past. But we have a lower wing, I hope, which allows us to overtake and try to go forwards. Like, I still have 3 cars I need to try and overtake in the first place. So, yes, I think we have chances, but we're going to have to look ahead and we're going to have to look behind.
And Lando, the trajectory of this team since Miami has been absolutely astonishing. You're in such a rich vein of form right now. What would it mean to take the final victory before the summer break?
I mean, any victory is a good one. So, I mean, it would be great for myself, for the whole team especially. You know, with the 1-2 last weekend, we would love to do something similar this weekend again. But we know we still have places to work on. We still have weaknesses. But just ending the first half in a good way is always a good bonus for the team.
Good luck.
Yeah, that was Lando Norris, and now we're seeing Zach Brown wearing a mohawk as well, which is surprising me no end out there. Just to pick up on some penalties that have come through, going back to what we were talking about with Sauber. Zhou Guanyu, Sauber have decided that they are going to start from the back of the grid. He's been given a 3-place grid penalty for impeding another driver. So Zhou, yesterday in qualifying, impeded Max Verstappen, and he's had 13 Q1 eliminations out of 14 races, JT. He's got through to Q2 once. He's got through to Q3 in sprint qualifying back in China. But in main Grand Prix qualifying, he's always at the back of the grid on the last row as well. So if it's me, I think Zhou Guanyu's got his seat under pressure. What's happened to him? He was really fast and really up there the last 2 seasons. He's coming to his 3rd year of F1. He looks like almost like a rookie.
I honestly don't know what has happened to Zhou Guanyu. As you said, 13 out of 14 races out in Q1, on the back row of the grid once again. And of course, it's Yuki Tsunoda who's got the last place with the back of the grid penalty. I believe it's Yuki Tsunoda.
Tsunoda's been given a 60-place power penalty as well.
Beautiful.
So he starts 20th on the grid.
Brussels.
Yeah, it still doesn't beat the McLarens, though. They got 105 one year at Spa as well, and were required to start the race back in France for their one as well. The race to the Belgian border, always quite an entertaining one to come into as well. Don't know why we've got a TNT Sport advert happening here at the moment on Sky Sports. That's very entertaining. You don't usually see that, but this is a TNT Sports advert happening on a Sky Sports F1 channel. They're not under the same brand, and there's nowhere near about it, so that's surprising me. In fact, that was from the TNT commentary box with Gavin Emmett over there, and that's Laura Woods up there, so yeah. A bit of a surprise. I want to see what that's about, actually, coming into this one.
I think it's because it's like available on Sky.
Oh, I see. Okay, coming into it as well. George Russell, just talking about him, he's going to start this race as well from 6th on the grid. He's highlighted that tyre wear could be a challenge in the race. Now, it's the shortest race of the year in terms of laps, 44, but it's the longest track of the year at over 7 kilometres. So, do you reckon that this tyre wear could be a problem, especially as we know if we're not having safety car interruptions, the soft tyre degrades quite quickly, the hard tyre won't work in these conditions, so you're sort of stuck on a medium that doesn't really have either good grip or good pace. So it's going to be a bit of an up and down race, and we, of course, practice showed us nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be an up and down race. Tyre degradation could come into its strategy definitely as well, because if you're stuck on the medium, which doesn't have both, but then the soft tyre degrades quickly and the hard doesn't work, in these conditions, you're kind of tied between all three, and you have to use at least two of them in the race. So some cars may have advantage to one part of the race and then major disadvantage the next.
Yeah, strategy is going to be quite an interesting factor to bring into it as well. I'm just getting up Bernie Collins, who has easier to type than not on an iPad when you've got bad fingers and hands as well, which is why I really should have used the headset for this bit in terms of it. This is the strategies and remaining tyres. Now, interesting to note out here as well that both Mercedes and Ferraris and McLarens have 2 sets of the hard tyres left. Both Red Bulls only have 1 set of hard tyres. The Aston Martins 1 set, the Alpines 2 sets of hards. No brand new sets of hards though for the RBs with Ricciardo and Tsunoda. 1 set left for the 2 Williamses, the 2 Saubers and the 2 Haas cars. In terms of mediums though, for Verstappen and Perez, they've got 2 apiece. Russell and Hamilton with 1 each. Leclerc has 2 sets of mediums, brand new, but Sainz only has 1. The same goes for Piastri and Norris. 2 apiece, brand new for Stroll and Alonso. 1 for Ocon and Gasly. 2 for Albon, Sargent, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Bottas, Zhou, Magnussen and Hülkenberg. Soft tyres become quite interesting here as well. This is the other factor you've got to keep up with this as well. 3 sets of brand new softs for Verstappen and Perez, Russell, Hamilton. 2 sets for Leclerc. 3 sets for Sainz, Piastri as well, Norris. 4 sets for Stroll, 3 sets for Alonso and Ocon. 4 sets for the remaining field of Gasly, Albon, Sargent, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Bottas, Zhou, Magnussen and Hülkenberg. So actually tyres available in this race as well going forward. Now, if you start the medium compound tyre, you can go to lap 10 to 15, then put on a set of hards to go from lap 25 to 30 as well. That's going to be a 2-stopper for that one. And then you have to pit again for another set of hard compound tyres at the end between those laps. If you start mediums, you can go again to lap 10 to 25, but you can extend that first stint on your hard tyres to about lap 28, lap 33, and then go on to mediums for the end of the race. Again, lap 10 to 15 for those starting on the medium tyres, but then you really extend the stint on the hards and go to lap 30, 35, then put softs on for the end. And if you want to start the soft tyres, you go lap 7 to 12 on them, and then it's a 2-stopper for mediums to the end because you go mediums, lap 23 to 28, and then another set of mediums to the end. Personally, JT, I think we're going to see the 2-stopper where we're going to see mediums from lap 10 to 15, then hards to lap 28 to 33, and then mediums to the end of the race as well. I don't see anybody risking the softs in these conditions. What are your takes?
Yeah, the conditions will do tyres a lot, as well as all of my computers are messing around, which is definitely not distracting me.
Nice to see Martin Brundle driving an F1 car again after his ankle operation at the start of the year. He's back in, I think his old Tolman from 1984 coming up there as well. So the car that caused his accident. We're getting ready though for the action. So we'll be picking up with the pit lane open in around about 30 seconds time. And then we'll hand over to Sky Sports F1 for the pre-race stuff. Martin's grid walk comes your way in around about 15 minutes time as well when the pit lane closes. Final thoughts then from you, JT, before we join back later on as well. Who do you think's going to win here in Belgium?
Max Verstappen could do it. That's why I've gone pick a winner because, well, you talked about this stat. But I think anyone, Leclerc, good in qualifying, not that good in the races we've seen, but he was able to do it at Monaco, but that was his home race. I don't know. It's open, I think. The McLarens could do something again, but then they could mess up strategy again.
Yeah, and Adam Cooper's just tweeted out something as well, quite interesting, that if Williams Racing do confirm Carlos Sainz for 2025 in the coming week, then Valtteri Bottas is a prime candidate to continue at the Stake F1 team Kick Sauber with Matteo Binotto. But the pit lane is open. It's time to head down to Ted Kravitz and Sky Sports.
Let's head to Ted.
Tedos.
Thank you very much, Natalie. Yes, Spa-Francorchamps. What a great insight from Martin there, and really one of the greatest tracks. What a track this is. One of the greatest challenges for man and machine in Formula One. There is Yuki Tsunoda starting right at the back of the grid. grid with an engine change alongside Zhou Guanyu, who got a penalty in qualifying. And there is car 81 with Oscar Piastri on board, the latest winner in Formula One. What can he do today? But let's talk tactics, shall we? Overtaking is much easier here than it was at Budapest a week ago. So that changes the strategy. You can pit first if you want, undercut the driver in front of you, but then the really high tyre degradation around here means that you then have to do a longer stint on that set of tyres, which will leave you vulnerable to the guy you just undercut, who's going to pass you back later in the stint on fresher tyres. That means that 2 stops are the quickest way to go. It's the quickest race strategy. Start on the medium tyre, go to lap 10 to 15, put the hard tyre on, then pit again between lap 25 and 30 and go to the end. And if that sounds like it's not many laps, then you're right. It's only 44 laps around here. Now Red Bull are going to have to run 2 mediums because they've only got 1 set of hard tyres. That could come back to bite them later on. But talking of Red Bull, David Croft in the commentary box, let's talk Max Verstappen. He's won here from 6th on the grid. He's won here from 14th on the grid. Is he going to win from 11th on the grid today?
Well, he could do, Ted. I'll add to that as well. He's won from pole, he's won from 2nd, he's won from 3rd, 4th, 6th, 7th, 9th, 10th and 14th, as you mentioned. But he's never won from 11th on the grid, and if he does so today, there he is at the top of the hill. He'll be clocking up victories from 10 different grid spots, which will be another outright record for Max Verstappen to add to the many more that he's got in his collection already. 3rd year in a row, Max was mighty in qualifying, but denied pole because of a grid penalty. And the 2nd year in a row that Charles Leclerc inherited that pole position. Charles was the last driver to win from pole this season, back in Monaco, his last podium. The top 3 on the grid, identical to last year's Belgian Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton starts 3rd. Sergio Perez, who led the first lap 12 months ago, starts on the front row. And this is Sergio's highest start since China, which was also his last podium. And starting 4th and 5th, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri from McLaren, they believe they're very much in the fight today as well. There is Lando Norris behind Lewis Hamilton, coming out on the soft compound tyre as they get their practice starts done just at the exit of the pit lane. But what is that fluid coming out of the back of that Mercedes? Will that be something of a concern a little bit later on? Piastri, as Ted mentioned, the latest winner in this season, 7 in total. We have 13 now, including this man, Daniel Ricciardo, former winners of a Grand Prix on the grid. And that, Natalie, is the highest amount of former winners we've had on a grid since Imola, the Italian Grand Prix, 44 years ago.
Thank you, Crofty. And 13th is where Daniel Ricciardo will be starting from today. Okay, Bernie and Naomi are alongside me at the front of the grid. Let's talk about the factors that will make a difference today, Bernie. First up, shortened DRS. Just how much of an impact will that have, and who will it affect? I'm thinking Red Bull.
Yeah, well, it's 75 metres shorter than it was last year or the previous few years that we've been here in Spa, and that will make a significant difference to how easy it is to overtake into turn 5. And they will have factored that into their calculations, of course they will, but it's just going to make overtaking that little bit more difficult for someone like Verstappen who's trying to push through the field.
Because he is talking down his chances of being able to carve through from this midfield melee. How much of a concern is it for him to be starting there and getting past some significant cars like Alex Albon, Esteban Ocon, Fernando Alonso in front of him?
Look, it's I wouldn't say he has a real reason to be overly concerned. I think he'll be able to clear quite a lot of the cars, but it's not going to be straightforward for him today. Firstly, they're running a higher downforce setup, which means they probably won't have the ultimate speed down the straights. But on top of that, the most concerning thing for both of the Red Bulls is that they only have 1 set of the hard tires, and the teams are quite surprised at how high the deck has been this weekend. The track's obviously been resurfaced, but it's been resurfaced to have more grip, so typically more grip means less drag. But as Bernie and I were just discussing, the actual concern is that the tyre pressures are a little higher than they were last year, and that's causing the tyres to drag. So he's really going to be having to nurse his tyres whilst he's carving through the field.
Okay, so to remind you then, Max Verstappen has 2 mediums and 1 hard. Charles Leclerc, the only one to have 2 hards and and 2 mediums. So Bernie, take it away. What's going to happen with strategy?
Yeah, so exactly as Ted alluded to, the green light there, we're thinking it's going to be a 2-stop strategy. The degradation is high, so and with these hot temperatures that we have here, people with the 2 sets of hards will feel they're at a slight advantage. And like you say, Leclerc could start on a medium and then decide which tyre he prefers later on in the race. So that's a very strong position for Ferrari, and they're in that position, of course, because qualifying was wet and they didn't use a lot of dry tyres. But I think today it's going to be all about reaction, a bit like Ted alluded to. The big thing that teams are going to have to do is split the stints very evenly, so around 15 laps on each stint, because you don't want to be carrying significant degradation at the end of any of it. So you don't want to go too long.
Well, Spa is, of course, the scene of Charles Leclerc's maiden win in Formula One back in 2019. He's going to come under pressure straight away at the start from Sergio Perez, and even Lewis Hamilton sitting there in third. How tough will it be to hold them back?
They're going to have a tougher day today. We saw on Friday, which was the only dry running we've had this weekend, that they didn't have the ultimate pace this weekend. So it's going to be tough. I mean, Perez is right there in a car that was very competitive on Friday. If he's able to get past him, then, you know, he's going to have a real chance here to win this weekend. But, yeah, the Ferrari of Leclerc and Hamilton are going to be struggling to keep, especially the McLarens behind them.
And if Sergio Perez can get that elusive first win of 2024, it'll be his first time on the top sets since April 2023. So where are the opportunities around this track? Let's head down to Karun at the Skypad.
This is a golden opportunity for Sergio Perez on a weekend where he is under pressure, we hear, for that seat. He's starting on the front row alongside Charles Leclerc, exactly as they did last year. And if this can be repeated, then Perez will set himself up for the win today. Now, the run down to La Source, the first corner, isn't actually that important. What is important is to get through there cleanly and then make sure you judge the gap on the run down to Eau Rouge absolutely perfectly. Now, Perez last year did that very well, I thought. He had this gap, which meant that he wasn't right behind Charles at the bottom of the hill. Because if you did that, then you'd have to lift at the bottom of the hill. Instead, he had a gap which allowed him to get in the slipstream, no DRS, of course, on the opening lap. But the slipstream effect comes into play when they get to the top of the Radio kink and then all the way up to Les Combes, and at that point, he was up and away in the lead and ran away from Charles. That set him up for second place last year. Today, with Verstappen having to battle through the pack, it could be for the win. Now, we also see incidents on the opening lap. So what I was talking about the importance of La Source not being that relevant for the leaders. Further back, though, you don't want to get caught up in incidents. Oscar Piastri and Carlos Sainz got very close last year, and in the end, both cars were heavily damaged. Piastri dropped out straight away, and I don't know how many times over the last 30 years that we've been seeing the first lap incidents down in La Source that we talk about this. So it is something for the drivers beyond the front row to be cautious about. Now, overtaking is relatively easy around Spa, which is why Red Bull have taken that penalty for Verstappen here. They think he can come through. The prime overtaking spot is at the top of the hill. Esteban Ocon did a great move around the outside of the Alpha Tauri last year. This year, of course, called the RB. It was Yuki Tsunoda. Watch this. The DRS this year is 75 meters shorter, so it's not going to be as easy as it was last year, and we're going to see more moves like this one rather than the easy out-dragging moves that we saw in the past. But if you have got a car that is slower than your competitors in a straight line, and we know people like Ocon and the Haas cars and maybe Alex Albon are going to be quick in a straight line, then you have to get creative. Pierre Gasly did a super job in the middle sector. Look at this, around the outside of Alex Albon and the Fania chicane. Both drivers gave each other room, and it carried on down to Stavolo, and eventually Gasly stuck with it, drove around the outside, and Albon had to yield. So if you are behind a car that's too fast in a straight line for you to overtake up into Les Combes, there is room for creativity around this big wide open circuit.
Great stuff. Thank you, Karun. Now we're hearing from Mercedes that was excess oil at the back of Lewis Hamilton's car. Nothing to worry about, though. Let's talk about those with opportunities. We know that Charles is going to come under pressure at the start. He thinks that run up to La Source is going to be crucial for him in terms of Perez getting that slipstream. So is that where ultimately the race will get decided? I mean, it's only a 44-lap race. I know there's plenty of opportunity to overtake, but could we possibly see Charles slip back early in the race?
Yeah, I think that run down to turn 5 is a very, very long run. That's that first DRS zone. Obviously, you won't have DRS on lap 1, but we've seen many, many years drivers take the toe effect down there and then be able to overtake into that corner lap 1. We've also seen actually 3 of the last 5 years have had a safety car lap 1. So drivers will be thinking that initially you need to get the positions. And we've seen in some of the earlier races actually, when there was a safety car incident, they allowed them to race for a good majority of the track before throwing the safety cars. So just if we have an incident, watch out for that. They'll allow them to race for as much of the circuit as they can.
What will Lando Norris be thinking at the moment? He starts P4. He's had a tricky few starts of late. The second phase of his launch in Hungary was tough.
I think he'll be thinking to not get into any trouble in turn 1. It can be a bit of a bottleneck run to turn 1, but he's actually on the outside, which on this track is not a bad place to be, because if there is some sort of traffic and pushing on the inside, you can go around the outside and be a little bit more clear. So stay out of trouble, get a clean run, and maybe, you know, get in the slipstream on the way to
Great stuff. Thanks, Naomi. Thanks, Bernie. Let's head down to Martin for the grid walk.
Thank you, Pinky. Yes, we're just literally following the Red Bull of Max Verstappen into his grid spot here on P11. We're going to have a look at the adventures and challenges he's going to have today. Should he, I mean, back in 2022, he went from 14th on the grid to into the lead in just 12 laps. Don't think that's going to happen today, but we are expecting him, of course, to go forward relatively quickly. You can see, if you remember, I looked at this car on the grid last weekend in Hungary, and we pointed out that these cannons didn't exist. They had a higher downforce setup there. They're back on the car for this weekend, and we know that this car is really efficient, works well at the sort of high-speed corners we have here at Spa. So it's going to be a challenge. The track is very green. That's because it had a big wash yesterday. We've had some support races, put a little bit more rubber down. A lot of new tarmac here. The problem that Red Bull have is they only have one new set of the hard compound tyres, which is expected, I use the word expected to be, because nobody really knows, the right tyre to have. Whereas ahead of him, the McLarens, the Ferraris, the Mercedes both have 2 brand new sets. So they might rue the fact that they ran a set on Friday to check them out, but he still has 2 new sets of mediums though, so he's okay for tyres, but I'm sure if they could wind the clock back, they would change that a little bit. So that's Max's challenge here in P11. The first thing he has to do is stay out of trouble in the infamous first corner. From where he is not much more than 200 meters down to the first braking point. It's a very short run down to the first corner. For our sakes, watching this race, the last thing we need to do is lose any of the key chess pieces in the first corner, because it's spoil our race, and I think it's going to be a great race if they all make it through unscathed. So we've got Alex Albon's Williams here now. We know that's very fast in a straight line. That's the first car Verstappen is going to have to pass, and but it's not Alex's race. Alex might be able to steal a point or two. Don't know if he's up for a quick chat. Alex, track feeling good out there?
Yeah, it feels very grippy. I don't know. I guess that's not just for me, but it's okay. I think the day's going to reduce a little bit from Friday, but so far so good.
All right, good stuff. You got Max alongside you. It's not your race today, or to hell with it?
It seems like this weekend there's been a bit more of a gap between the top teams and the midfield teams, so it'll be passed pretty soon, yeah.
All right, thank you very much. So directly in front of Max is Esteban Ocon. Now this car has got less rear wing. It's faster in a straight line as Daniel Ricciardo comes through, Logan Sargent comes through. How you doing, Logan? And with its very funky livery that it has on here, they've got less rear wing on this car. And that means this is super fast in a straight line. Now, on the start or on a restart, Esteban Ocon can be a real nuisance with this car going up the hill towards turn 5 and the braking point up there at Le Combe. And that's going to be an interesting challenge, but he'll be slow compared to Verstappen through the middle part of the lap. Verstappen will be all over the back of it, if indeed he's still behind it on the exit of the first corner. So there's a challenge, but again, it's a car that's not really racing Verstappen today. They're racing for the tail end of the points. Fernando Alonso, well, he never gives up on anything, does he, really? He's not going to let Max past easily, but he's not got a car that's going to be fighting the Red Bull raced long. I don't, again, Fernando's not going to want to wreck his tyres or his race just to keep Max Verstappen behind him as he's coming through the pack in a faster car. Now we start to get to the problem area. The first Ferrari on the grid of Carlos Sainz, and he is out of position, really. I think he didn't have a great qualifying in the rain. Carlos will be trying extremely hard to keep Max Verstappen behind him if he can. We don't know the raw pace of the Ferrari. They think they could be third or fourth today, for example. And we'll keep moving forward and to see who we can find. And then we got George Russell. He absolutely will not be wanting Max Verstappen to, absolutely will not want to be letting Verstappen through easily. He must fancy also a chance of a podium today. So we'll keep mooching forward. There's a quick chat over here. Let's see if Mark Webber's up for a chat. I've had the last 2 nights I spent dinner with him, so he might be thinking, yeah, whatever, I've got nothing more to say to you. But Mark, manager of Oscar Piastri, of course. I mean, they've got a bit of a challenge from where they're starting on the grid. What's the feeling in the camp at McLaren?
Pretty positive, mate. I think obviously the bone dry today, beautiful weather, which is unusual, as you know, here in Spa. Different array of wing levels out there. McLaren have gone for pretty aggressive, well, higher top speeds, obviously, in relation to the opposition, but they still think it's the best wing level for the Grand Prix. So let's see how it turns out in terms of race speed and also overtaking.
We've already heard from Alex Albon. He says there's a lot of grip out of there. That's going to punish the tyres today.
Yeah, tyres, you'll hear a lot about out on the radio today, obviously. Max has gone for heavier rear wing to try and protect the rubber. He's got 2 mediums. McLaren have got 2 hards. Let's see, mate, as you say. That's why we're going to watch it, aren't we?
Absolutely right. Good to see you, Mark. Yeah, well, the one they're down. So then we get to the McLarens. Now, these really, it depends how quickly they can get, themselves into the lead, if indeed they can, because we think they've got potentially the fastest car, along with Verstappen. They cut a little bit of wing out, so it hurt them a bit in the rain, but they think that it'll give them an advantage when it comes to this race, as Mark Webber was just saying. But the McLaren looking glorious, and they're side by side on the grid here, and they've really got to work together, I think, to get through the pack. They're going to get such an incredible slipstream up to the top of the hill. Zach, so how are you going to play this one?
We're going to try and go as fast as possible. I think we have 2 cars capable of winning. We're really good in these conditions, so just good, clean first lap. I think we got a good tire setup, so we'll see.
Yeah, you got 2 sets of hard compound. So have you had a reset with the drivers? Kind of like, this is how you'll behave. This is what you'll be doing.
Yeah, they're in good shape. Except Oscar just told me I got to get a real mohawk if he wins. So I might play some strategy at the end of the race.
Tattoos, mohawks.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm done betting these drivers.
Okay, I'm going to talk to Andrzej here. Andrzej Kopitar.
Hi.
Martin Brunner, good to see you, from ice hockey player, LA Kings. Of course, I know you're good mates with Zach over there.
Yeah, very good mate. You know, he's obviously the team principal and the boss, and he's been nice enough to invite us with my wife, and we've been having an absolute blast the whole weekend.
Wonderful atmosphere here, isn't it, on the grid?
Yeah, it's my first race, so I mean, I'm literally shaking right now, so it's been phenomenal.
Yeah, well, you're used to performing your sport on ice, but I think today our tyres might be a little bit like chewing gum a bit later on. So I think you're going to see a very good Grand Prix.
I sure hope so. I mean, I know this is one of the best circuits on the calendar, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Thanks for talking to us.
All right, thank you.
Good stuff. Right, let's keep wandering along. And then Lewis, what a performance he put in qualifying, didn't he? There he is. I mean, I think he's having to really hang on to that car a little bit lately. He drove a super race last weekend in Hungary, and really sort of, I think, got the most out of it. And it all looks extremely calm. They're just firing the car up just to keep the pressures and temperatures where they want them. We saw some water coming. We saw some water coming out the back of that. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk to if I'm allowed to talk to. Bono, we saw some fluid coming out of the back of the car. Any concerns on that?
No concerns. It's just a little bit oil breathing out. We have to top the tank right up because there's a sustained G you've got here. So just to avoid any little dip outs in oil pressure, yeah, just make sure it's just running grim.
All right, you've got a race on your hands today.
I think we have.
Good stuff. Good luck. He's a top man, isn't he? Right, and then here we are. We've got Sergio Perez here over on the front row of the grid. And, you know, he's got a great chance of winning this race. He's got a chance of being the 8th victor of a Grand Prix in this season of ours. If he's on tip-top form, he's got a fast car. He drove it well in qualifying. He got it up here on a U set of intermediates, so that was an outstanding performance. He knows how to drive around here. So let's not pretend this is all about how quickly Verstappen can catch the McLarens for the victory. It's much more than that, as you can tell by the brilliant drivers and teams that we've been walking through so far. So I think there's a super chance here for Sergio Perez to put his season right. And he knows that if he can get a slipstream through Eau Rouge and over Radion and up to the top of the hill, he can be in the lead. He's experienced that the other way round as well. He can be in the lead. It looks like they're getting some tequilas ready on the front there or something, doesn't it? But I don't know where that dry ice is going to go into. Presumably into the... and they're just cleaning. You can see a little transmitter on the front, in front of the ice. Where does that ice going to go into? Sorry? Fair enough, he's busy and he's got his earphones in. Just fascinating to know where the ice is going to go, really. See if I can find somebody else who might tell me that, and does it really matter? But I would like to know. Okay, right, and then we get to pole position. And Leclerc, what a clean, unassuming in some ways lap there was. Wasn't fastest in any of the 3 sectors actually. Just put a stunning lap in. This Charles Leclerc is so fast when he hooks up. Sometimes he overdrives the car, sometimes he overdrives the circuit and he ends up in the wall. But generally speaking, as Nicholas Tombassis is he's the man in charge of the technical side of the FIA. Fred, congratulations on pole position.
Yeah, thank you, but it's on Sunday that we are scoring points.
Yeah, they don't hand out the prizes until today. But so, where do you think you sit with McLaren, Mercedes, and Red Bull? Where this looks like it could be an incredible race to me.
Yeah, so far, but it was almost like this the last 10 events that you have, because if you have a look even on Budapest, that McLaren won the race with 20 seconds. It's less than 2/10 a lap. And it was like this the last perhaps 10 races. It means that each weekend it will be a different one, and we have to be efficient. It means that we have to win when we have the best car and to be able to score good points when we haven't.
Okay, have a good race. Let's see you. Right, let's... Christian, can Max come through from 11th to win this race?
It's going to be tough. It's not like previous years, but we're going to give it our damnedest.
I've just been saying to our audience, I think Sergio Perez is a factor in this race as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Best thing he can do is take the lead at the turn 5 and bugger off.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. Technical term there. Right, let's see if we can... Lewis doesn't like talking on the grid, so Daniel's got his headphones on. I think let's see if we can find another driver or two. They're really... no, there's quite a few to come. See if they'll come through here. We'll grab a driver, and we've got Lance coming in. Quick chat, Lance.
Ladies and gentlemen.
So, bit of work to do today from further down the grid. How did it feel going to the grid?
Yeah,
I think it's going to be it's a bit unknown today. I mean, no one got some proper long running on this new tarmac, so Deg's a little bit unknown, but it's always an interesting race around here. You can overtake and stuff, so looking forward to it.
Okay, thank you very much. Lando, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited.
Good. I'd love to see a smile on your face. That's the fast smile.
Sorry, will be quick? Yeah. I think so, but Max will be quicker. So I'm going to be looking ahead, but I'm sure I need to look behind at some point.
Give it plenty. Okay, we need to back away a little bit now. We're not allowed to talk to drivers when there's less than half a minute to go. So we'll just soak up the atmosphere. The incredible drivers, Alex Albon, Logan Sargent, just coming in at the last moment. Caps coming off to show respect. Grid kids ready to dignitaries at the front. It's time for the anthem.
Noble, noble Belgique, ô mère chérie, à toi nos cœurs, à toi nos bras, à toi notre sang, ô patrie. Nous le jurons tous, tu vivras toujours grande et belle, et ton invincible unité aura pour devise immortelle le roi, la loi, la liberté. Aura pour devise immortelle le roi, la loi, la liberté. Vorvorst, vorwred en vorrecht. Gesetz und König und die Freiheit hoch. Le roi, la loi, la liberté. Le roi, la loi, la liberté.
Wonderful national anthem and fly past. Let's go down back to the group with
beautiful
Nats.
rendition there of the Belgian national anthem, sung in 2 languages, Flemish and French. Okay, let's head across to George Russell, who's with Rachel.
Hi George, how are you feeling ahead of this race? A little bit warmer, but I know your car likes the cooler temperatures normally.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, a lot of unknowns going into this race. I think probably lots of deg on Friday, and it's a bit hotter today, and actually that might make the deg improve. So I think, yeah, time will tell.
What about the options on strategy today? Because is there a chance that you and Lewis could do something different to try and bring in the best result, or do you have to wait and see? Is it a bit of a patience game today?
Yeah, I think patient game definitely, because you can box early and you'll probably have a 2 or 3 second advantage on the new tyre, but you're going to pay for that at the end. So ultimately, if we have a fast car, we can move forward, and if you don't, we'll probably end where we finish.
All right, go well. Thank you, George. Toti, just a quick word from you on the race that your two are facing today. Can they realistically get up to the podium? What are your thoughts on the tyre degradation and the different strategies everyone's got to play with?
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I think on strategy there is options, but on the tyre degradation the McLarens were very good, and obviously Max coming from behind.
Is there a chance that one of your two could win this today, or is that going to be too far?
I think it's a long shot, but you can never discount it. It's a motor race.
Right, thank you, Toti.
Well, you can't help but think that Lewis Hamilton's rejuvenated after that win at Silverstone. Then he got his 200th podium last weekend in Hungary. I mean, he's driving exceptionally well. You can't write him off for a win either today.
Yeah, I don't think you can write off either of the Mercedes, really. They have got those 2 hard tyres available, which we think will come into play in these hotter track conditions, but we don't quite know. And that team has been working so well together. The strategy calls they're making, the interaction between the driver and the pit wall, you can't rule either of those two out, I think.
The conditions are so very different today. We've got a bit of a brisk breeze, much warmer. How would the drivers be feeling about that?
I think they'll be feeling good about it. We had roughly similar conditions on Friday. The track obviously seems to be different. It's obviously been reset overnight with a lot of rain, lots of cars on track since they last went out in dry conditions. So it will be a little bit of a discovering phase in the first stint, and then I think teams will be resetting what the expectations are in tyre life.
Okay, let's head over to Ted. What have you got for us?
Well, Natalie, you're talking about Mercedes. The crucial thing about Hamilton and Russell's car is that Mercedes have no idea whether the upgrades, the changes they made to the car between Friday and Saturday are going going to work because, of course, Saturday morning was wet. So Hamilton and Russell have no idea about the handling of the car underneath them. What we do have an idea of is that this car is literally held together with gaffer tape. Just have a look at the bit of carbon fibre either side of the exhaust pipe. I've just watched the mechanics have to tape it up with literally gaffer tape. So just a little thing that they want to be sure of. Everything is covered, and it certainly is.
Thank you, Ted. Also worth keeping your eye on Esteban Ocon and Alex Albon in 9th and 10th, respectively. They have got phenomenal straight line speed. OK, things are heating up here in Belgium. On the way next, get ready for the Belgian Grand Prix.
Thanks very much to Sky F1. We are all set to go as well. Let's see who's going to take victory. Now, here's how the commentary plan's going to work out for today. Josh T will be here until about 2:25. Omi will then come up to the comms box. Myself and Megan will be always in vision. And then hopefully JT gets back before the end of the Grand Prix action as well. Should do. Shouldn't be too long of a Grand Prix, to be fair. Should be done very quickly by about 3:30. JT, final thoughts from you. This is going to be a big one. Who's going to be a big surprise? As in, who's going to be the driver who's going to shock us in both doing really well and doing really badly? Who's your two?
Well, I'm gonna... Hold on, let me mute Paul O'Neill. There we go.
I thought I heard Paul O'Neill.
Yeah, well, I think Max will be up there, but two McLaren to keep an eye on that. Badly, Perez could... Perez is a weird one. He is a very weird one because sometimes he does well, sometimes he does bad, and I'm not going to question the Classic Touring Car Championship as a driver just had a whole exhaust in his hand and is putting it back in his car. What an incredible race, by the way. It's chaotic, as always. But, yeah. Going back to Formula 1, keep an eye on Alexander Albon and Esteban Ocon, as they said as well.
Joyous news, there is no, I repeat, no risk of rain in this race. That's official from the FIA. Here it comes then. What is going to happen? Who is going to win the Belgium Grand Prix? So much intrigue, but if you're a betting person and you want to go on omens, you need to take a look at the previous couple of years where Verstappen's taken pole position, had a grid penalty with a Ferrari inheriting pole position, Perez standing on the front row with Hamilton third, and always the pole sitter ending up in third place with Red Bull 1-2, Perez staying where he is, but Max coming through to take the race win. It's happened twice before. The identical situations the previous 2 years. Is it going to be third time's a charm? We're about to find out. Sit back, relax wherever you are, or on Mixler if you're listening to us as well on USON for the race. Don't worry, it's all dealing with. Don't know if we're on or not because of all the action with the Olympics, so we might be airing later, I'm understanding. So if we are airing later, hello to all of you listening on. Join us as well on JBMotorsports on YouTube and Twitch for all of the action. Here it comes, the Belgium Grand Prix of 2024. Let's head back to Sky.
Spa, quiet squares, cobbled streets, and every attraction for the tourists.
This is the circuit that the drivers really love.
It's one of the best tracks in the world.
But from time to time, beautiful life is ripped apart, more exciting.
The ultimate test for the Grand Prix driver.
One of the finest and fastest motor racing circuits in Europe.
Position for Charles Leclerc.
We're all set to go for the last race before the summer break. Welcome to the most historic, the most legendary, the most challenging, the most fear-mongering circuit on the calendar. Welcome to Spa-Francorchamps. It used to be so big, it used to be encompassing 3 different towns in this area of the Ardennes Forest. Now it's 7 kilometres, still the longest on the Formula 1 calendar, and still the most challenging. 3 different sectors located in 3 different parts of this area still. 2 DRS zones, 1 down towards turn 1 on the La Source hairpin and 1 down the Keppel Straight. Elevation change here is so high, the highest point is actually at La Source. The lowest point is at Eau Rouge, and then down the Keppel Straight you come back up. Pirelli bring the 3 medium tyre compounds. It's the soft C4, the medium C3, the hard is the C2. Definitely a strange weekend around as to what the tyres are going to bring into it, but no chance of rain. It's a sunny condition out here today, which means that we are in dry lands. And this is how they line up on the grid then for the Belgium Grand Prix. With a penalty for impeding, Yuki Tsunoda starts at the back of the grid as well, and he's taken 60 places of grid penalties. Yuki Tsunoda as well starts 20th. It's Zhou Guanyu in 19th position with a 3-place grid penalty for blocking Max Verstappen. Then it's Logan Sargent starting 18th with Kevin Magnussen 17th. 16th for Nico Hulkenberg and 15th for Lance Stroll. Danny Ricciardo lines up 13th on the grid with Valtteri Bottas lining up 14th as well. 13th on the grid though, that gets to Danny Ricciardo. Then it's 12th for Pierre Gasly. Max Verstappen starting 11th on the grid. Yeah, he's got a 10-place grid penalty. That's how that's going to go. Alexander Albon starts 10th. Williams always go well here. Esteban Ocon looking to get back into good books with Alpine starts 9th. Fernando Alonso starts 8th on the grid with Carlos Sainz alongside him in 7th. George Russell starts 6th on the grid. Winner last time out in Hungary, Oscar Piastri lines up 5th. Front 2 rows of the grid though, Lando Norris lines up 4th. For the 3rd year running, Lewis Hamilton lines up 3rd on the grid. For the 3rd year running, Sergio Perez lines up 2nd on the grid as well. And for the 3rd year running, it's a Ferrari on pole position. For the 2nd time in those 3 years, it's Charles Leclerc who gets a massive cheer as well. Confused yet? Do you want something else, is what I pointed out, but if you're just joining us for the first time, as we welcome you up to the commentary box here as well, if we have a situation where Max Verstappen wins, it will be once again the same situation where the past 3 years Verstappen's had pole, had a grid penalty, gone further down the grid, Ferrari's inherited pole position with Perez 2nd, Hamilton 3rd. It's happened the last 2 years running. If I was a betting person, Megan Birch alongside me in the comms box as Josh T, I'd say Verstappen's got this one in the bag, but he's never won from 11th on the grid before.
True, so it will be tricky, and at the moment there is a thing going on, so I don't think Leclerc is going to win. There's a thing going on where no one who starts pole is winning.
No, literally no one who starts pole.
Can you count Max into that? Because he got pole and then he didn't get pole. So can you count him into that?
Well, the history books officially will show Charles Leclerc as the pole sitter for this event. Remember, it's pole whoever starts on Sunday in that top spot. Richie says, I think Max will finish in 3rd. And Roger says, I think Perez will DNF. Some really interesting ones as well.
That's a safe bet.
It's a safe bet as well. JT's with us in the comms box as well. JT, this is going to be a fascinating race ahead of us.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. Max has won from 14th before, not won from 11th before, and if he does win, it'll be Max has won from 10 different places on the grid, which will be another record in itself. Max just loves collecting records at this point, but since the last couple of years, the competition has caught up to Max, so it'll be much harder to do. As the clock hits 3 PM local, the green lights go on and the formation lap is underway.
Good start from Charles Leclerc there. Sergio Perez just following in behind. Let's get a line-up on how the strategy is going to play in to today's race. Everyone's starting on the mediums, bar Sainz, who's starting hard, and Zhou Guanyu. Danny Ricciardo has taken a soft compound tyre, but here's the strategies, Megan, as well.
Okay, 2 stops, starting on mediums, 2 laps, 10 to 15, going on to hards, 2 laps, 25 to 30, then going on to hards again to the end of the race. And then 2 stops starting on mediums, going on to hards at lap 10 to 15, then going on to back onto mediums at laps 28 to 33. 2 stops starting on mediums, going on to hards at laps 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Sorry. Then going on to softs for laps 30 to 35, and then another 2 stops starting on softs. This will be Danny Rick's one. Going to pit stop at 7 to 12, and then going on to mediums and until laps 23 to 28, and then going on to mediums until the rest of the race. I cannot function like that.
It's a difficult word-by-word strategy, but that's what Bernie Collins has sent in for you to talk about. So Bernie's sort of dictating what you're going to go to there. Max Verstappen, a 10-place grid penalty for a new engine. Then he's got Yuki Tsunoda as well in there. Brand new 60 places, basically, penalties has come into it. Max Verstappen's won it for the last 3 years running. And he's now got pole position as well for the last 2 years running. It's going to be an interesting factor to see what's going to happen here. Last year, of course, Carlos Sainz took pole position effectively off the list. So it's going to be quite fun. Omi's down there as well in the pit lane for us. Omi, if you can hear us as well, what are you expecting?
Hello, I'm going to eat food quickly, but I'm expecting a very good race coming our way. Can't wait for this one to get underway. Leclerc on pole. 1 year ago, it was Leclerc on pole, Perez alongside. Perez took the lead on the Kemmel Straight. Let's see if it will be the same thing.
Thank you, Omi. JT is out looking out his window at the moment. He's looking completely the wrong direction. What are you looking at?
You will never guess what.
A bird?
Plane.
Oh, planes.
Close.
We guessed.
It basically, it's weird. It's here yesterday and today, and it's doing test flights, and they've said if you have a pilot's license, you can sign a form and go and fly it.
Oh, so everyone's flying it.
So it's been up like at least 10 times yesterday, and it's going to do the same today.
Hello.
And when it comes back, that's
very slow. Yuki Tsunoda coming into position on the grid.
Yeah.
I think he's testing out tyres.
Drivers have made their way through the Ardennes Forest then. Time to get lined up. Max Verstappen just formed up, but Charles Leclerc on pole position has been on the grid for 42 seconds already. Hello to Karen, says, hi guys, what a lovely day for a race. It really is. 44 laps, 7 kilometres, the longest race of the year in distance, the shortest of laps. 3, 4, 5, look but never steer. Again, they were on for a long time, but it's action in Spa. It's a good start from Sergio Perez, but Lewis Hamilton's immediately alongside, down to turn 1 on the source. It's Charles Leclerc leading the way. Perez around the outside.
Oh, bit of an offset for Norris.
Norris again off the circuit, lost 3 places. Hamilton is side by side with Perez, and he's backed out of it. Now that's going to be Piastri trying to go through. Leclerc leads, coming through, rounding on for the first time. Has Verstappen made up any places? He's passed Esteban Ocon, but look at Sergio Perez. He looks left. Hamilton blocks him. He looks back to the right to try and go around the outside. He blocks him then. And Russell's trying to go around the outside of Piastri. That's going to have to be cut across, and it is.
Oh, off.
That's Alexander Albon coming across the circuit as well. He drops out, and Verstappen will take over. Surely 10th position. Yes, no, maybe. There goes Carlos Sainz. He's ahead of Norris. He's up to 6th. So Norris drops down to 7th place after running wide on the opening lap. Charles Leclerc leads from Hamilton 2nd. Those red lights were on for an eternity.
They were. It caught a lot of them off guard, I think.
Yeah, that's, I think, definitely for Sergio Perez. He did not get the launch he wanted. Hamilton got a much better getaway. Charles Leclerc, though, was pitch perfect on those lights out as they come through, but they were on for an eternity, those lights, at least 5 seconds.
No one on that side got the perfect getaway because they were all too focused on looking at the lights.
Well, I said just follow one out. Look, but never steer. That's what you've got to do. You can never steer at them. You'll mess up your start. But Leclerc's got a 8/10 advantage over Hamilton as we come through Blanchimont for the first time. Perez 3rd, Piastri 4th, Russell 5th, Sainz 6th, Norris 7th, Alonso 8th, Albon 9th, Verstappen up into 10th position. Ocon gone down 2 places at the start from Gasly. Then it's Bottas, Ricciardo, Stroll, Hulkenberg, Magnussen, Zhou, Tsunoda and Sargent. And Max going round the outside into the bus stop, becomes the inside and gets up into 9th place at the end of the opening lap after starting 11th. Good start there, JT.
Yeah, that was a really good start for Verstappen, only up 1 place at the start, and that is down the inside, one of the Aston Martins on Daniel Ricciardo, and that will be Lance Stroll as Alonso's up in 8th.
They really did hold them. Look at that, look at that. That was Bottas. No, hang on a minute, I'm going to refer myself there. That's Zhou trying to pass Magnussen over 17th place. Down the Kemmel Straight we go with the DRS Open. Lewis Hamilton fancies a Grand Prix here as we see Piastri getting ahead of Carlos Sainz, but immediately went. No, that's Norris getting ahead. Norris again, second time today off the track. The helmets are too similar from the top-down camera angle we've got. Norris, the second time in this race, trying to have a go at someone who goes off the track.
If you see neon, it's Norris.
Neon is Norris, so remember that one. It's quite easy to tell. But Lando Norris in this race actually has got 2 sets of hard, 1 set of medium, 3 brand new sets of soft compound tyre. Interesting enough to notice as well, the 2 RBs, by the way, don't have any new hard tyres, but they do have an old hard tyre that they can use during this event. Leclerc, though, still leading this race. Clouds starting to come in. No chance of rain, but when again has that ever done it? And Verstappen's passed Alonso.
Next up for Verstappen's list is Norris, so he better run like the wind.
Definitely, this is going to be fun. The top 2 in the championship.
Especially given their past track record in passing each other recently.
They have indeed. Keep coming together. Remember Austria? Remember last time out as well in Hungary? And they
what is it about championship leaders that they seem to attract each other for crashes?
Magnetised, isn't it? And it's double so here as well. Turn 5 incident involving Albon has been noted for leaving the track, gaining advantage. That's what we saw at the opening lap of the race. So it's been noted by the stewards. He didn't get the place back, so it might be given a penalty there. Flashed up on our screen now as well. I think JT as well. Hamilton's got a good shot here.
Yeah, Hamilton does. He's 3.5 tenths behind Leclerc, going down to Eau Rouge and at the top of the hill of Radion. Look at the plank scraping on the bottom and the sparks coming from that Mercedes car. And he's going to do it round the outside, down the Kemmel Straight.
And Lewis Hamilton takes the lead on lap 3 of 44 of the Belgium Grand Prix, a race he's won at so many times, 2010, 15, 17 and 2020. Hamilton leads again after finding his winning form at the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Now, is he on course to do something similar and win when Verstappen is that disadvantaged? He's already got the fastest lap there as Max. It's a 1:49.828 at the moment. But Hamilton getting the early lead and pulled out 6.66 of an advantage. So already he's using everything at this devil of a circuit.
No, not Tsunoda. Stroll has had his lap time deleted, so it's his first strike.
I'm going to back you up a bit because the camera can't see him.
Hold on. Who's going to crash?
Well,
here we go.
Megan's got her finger of doom out. I think we're going to see Stroll, personally. Oh, no! It's Zhou! It's Zhou Guan Yu! Zhou Guan Yu is crawling, coming down towards Puong, and there's something flapping on the left-hand side of his side pod. Let's hear his radio.
Losing power, guys. So losing hydraulic fluid.
Hydraulics.
I try, mate. I try to bring it back.
Well,
so if Zhou can't do it, that'll be a safety car because of where he'll end up on the circuit. Fastest lap goes to Charles Leclerc until Max Verstappen crosses the line. No, Hamilton takes fastest lap and has kept it. It's a 1:49.109. So Hamilton now the fastest on the circuit, and crucially, in just half a lap, JT, he's pulled a full second to Charles Leclerc. That was crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. We're keeping an eye on Zhou on the driver tracker to see if he can get it
Is that Fania?
back to pit lane. We'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah, he's at Fania. He's coming down to Stavola. He's looking very slow coming down there. What's his miles per hour? 85 kilometres an hour. If we take a look on the battle screen, look down to the bottom of Zhou and look at the kilometres. He's using 1/4 throttle and he's doing 87 kilometres an hour. It's downhill through as well. He's stuck in first gear, JT. That's what it is. So he's got no hydraulics. He's stuck in first gear. Well, I'm watching Zhou now. I am watching Zhou Guanyu. And look at that. Look how on board it is. That's amazing. He's coming to that part where I'm watching him, JT, now on the driver track up here in the commentary box with the onboard cameras we've got. He's stuck in first gear, and now he's selected third gear, and Zhou Guanyu is back in the race. Zhou Guanyu is back in the race. They've managed to fix it. Zhou's back up to full speed. We have not lost any cars.
Before I pick Gasly, by the way, so.
He'll need a safety car, though.
Yes.
Definitely.
Now, is he going to box? Or will he... He's continuing on. He is continuing on. Sauber, amazing work by the team. They have got him back running, and Zhou Guanyu is back in the race. I was literally watching his onboard camera on the iPad up here in the commentary box, and it is no further action for Alexander Albon. Okay to continue is the word from Zhou Guanyu. Mode 2 until the end of the race, he's been told. So Zhou Guanyu is back in the Grand Prix. Well,
good work from Sauber.
Oh, we haven't said that this year.
The things that are no further action, I'm just going to put NFA.
Yeah, NFA, no further action, that pretty much is the gist at the moment. Now Leclerc is going to come and... Actually, Leclerc's got a full second to Perez, so it's actually Piastri, Russell, Sainz, Norris, Verstappen, all closed up together. So we do actually, for the first time this season, have all 8 drivers in the top 4 teams in the top 8 positions, all in a line together. So if you've been waiting for the grandstand, you've got it now. And look at that already. Piastri trying to nip at the heels of Sergio Perez through Lecombe, through Malmedy, down to Rivage.
Right now, I do not know what to think because everyone except Perez has DRS on the one in front.
Yeah. So it's Perez who's got to sort of holding up. Here's the start there, Megan. Look at the lights. At least 5 seconds.
Yeah, and if you look at that entire row, they all got a slower stop than the other side.
Yeah.
Oh, a little bit of contact there between Hamilton and Perez, and that was returned from both sides, and mainly Perez hitting Hamilton, and that seemed quite deliberate.
Let's take a look at it on board with Charles Leclerc. Go on, JT.
I am more focused on the picture-in-picture live, which they've finally worked out.
Oh, yeah, you haven't been here for a few races, have they? They've had that for a couple.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they've had that since Canada, I think. But JT has not been here for a while. And still won't be, because we're going to kick him off to go to touring cars. We need like a wipe effect that we can just get him away, but he'll be replaced by Omi.
What happened here at the back?
Yeah, let's have to take a look. The two Hasses come together a little bit, and Lando just gets a wheel. Oh, there, yeah.
Look at the background there.
Norris, as soon as he came back on, touched the side of...
Yeah, but I wasn't looking at that.
Radion, I thought I saw on turn 1.
Let's have a... I thought someone went off.
One.
Yeah, I thought someone went off at Radion as well. Megan said it.
Couldn't see.
Ocon
went
It was either Ocon or Gasly, though. I think it was Ocon because, you know, it was red.
Why isn't Russell being investigated? I mean, I know he lost a place there, but still a bit weird. We didn't see Albon's upgrade again. Lando Norris has a lap time deleted for track limits at turn 6 on lap 2. That's Lecombe.
That was when he went off.
Yeah, Zhou Guanyu is being caught by the race leader Hamilton as they're still all now lining up together. So if they're on a medium tyre, there's 3 strategy options open to them, as Megan talked about earlier on. They'll all have to pit between lap 10 and 15, but then it's a question of whether they go onto the hard tyres or not. Should be hards. They can't do medium, hard. It has to be hard set in the second phase. JT.
Hello.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were going to say something while I was talking.
Hamilton.
Oh, he is then. Well, Lewis, I don't know how familiar you are with anatomy, but let's get into it.
Is it the pedals?
Yeah, I don't know. Something's moving between Hamilton's legs.
Down.
Yeah.
Like near the feet.
Well,
I think it
I'm
might
not going there. You can go there. I'm not going.
I think maybe it's
loose pedal.
Yeah. Either that or his shoe.
Oh, imagine if those shoelaces come loose.
Probably.
Yeah, that's never good. I mean, they are velcroed over. You tie them normally, and there's a Velcro strap over them.
But Velcro come off.
Some drivers actually do prefer to use Velcro. The newer drivers prefer to use Velcro because they've not got that Illuminati in their brain that it's loose. Literally, you sat on the grid. When those lights were on, they were on for about 5-6 seconds, those red lights. In that eternity, you sat there and it's never going out. And you suddenly start feeling, oh, your glove doesn't feel right, your boot doesn't feel quite right and everything's a bit too tight.
You're just like, I'm sitting wrong.
Yeah. Even standing in the commentary box right now, I can tell you that I'm thinking that my bandages are all wrong and I want to do it, but you don't want to do it.
Right now, I'm thinking that...
Out goes Zhou Guanyu.
Ah.
He's back in the pit lane. So Zhou Guanyu is our first retirement of this Grand Prix.
At least he made it to the pit lane and not stopped on track.
He said he was going to be in mode 2 to the end of the race, but obviously there's something more terminal with that car that cannot be fixed. So he goes out and will play no further part. Piastri's closing in on Perez, as we can visibly see now on our screens in front of us here in the commentary box. And I wonder where he's going to have an attack. They're all trying to save their tyres, though. Danny Rick estimated now he's going to come in between laps 7 and 12. The unknown here is those starting on the hard tyres. Yes, one of them was Zhou Guanyu. So you now got to look to Carlos Sainz. He's the variable here. He's reversed engineered the strategy. By going hards first.
That might be a good thing as well, since he's managing to hold off Norris.
Well, he's going to bangle on a safety car, isn't it? Bangle? What the hell is that word?
It's like a bracelet.
I know, but why did I say bangle? He's going to bangle on it like a bracelet. No, he's going to bet on. And I meant to say bet.
Gamble.
And
You
it's come out
made
as
a new
bangle.
word.
Yeah. So my brain was going, do you want to say bet on a safety car or gamble on a safety car? And my brain goes, bangle. That is genuine. When I say
betting gamble.
When I say life from a commentator is spurting out the first thing that comes out in your head, it really is. And only after the
you make new words.
Yeah. There's a reason Murray Walker had so many Murrayisms as well. That's in, what was that? I don't know. I've done it as well. So bangled. No, he wants to gamble on the fact there's going to be a safety car later in the race, and it's a possibility. There's an 80% risk of a safety car here at Spa-Francorchamps, so it's easily up to. Safety car delta here, by the way, is a 2:03. That's the drivers what they've got to keep up to on their lap times. Zhou Guanyu is out of the race. It's another retirement for him here as well. He was 14th on debut in 2023, but retired here last year as well.
Nico is boxing.
Hulkenberg in. Now that's interesting. That's early. Lap 8. He's gone into hards. 3.1 second stop there.
That isn't on the thing.
No, he's taken those 2 laps early, so he's trying to avoid the rush because, as I said, there's 3 strategies where you can take those tyres.
So he's undercutting them.
He's trying to undercut them. Yeah. Whether that'll work early, but that means he's going to have to come in lap 25. No ifs, no buts. I'll have to come in then.
I suppose it could work.
This is what I like about the strategy aspects here at Spa. It gambles, doesn't it, Josh? Because the track's so long, you can gamble with the undercut. We saw it in Formula 2. It's powerful here.
Yeah, you can really gamble on the undercuts and all of that. And pit strategy is so big. It can be so big, but then if you mess it up, you can drop so far down with pit strategy due to it being a 7-kilometre circuit, because your tyres could be good at the start of the lap, bad at the end of the lap, and don't pit. Go on.
Pierre Gasly saying it's a tough day, going to have to box. So Pierre Gasly might be having some issues out there. He's running 12th at the moment. He's dropped 1.3 seconds behind his teammate Esteban Ocon, and he's 7/10 behind Bottas at the moment. Let's take a look at George Russell. This is down into Ravage at turn 8 on the circuit. Just runs a bit wide and gets caught on the drain cover.
Albon pits.
So that's Albon from down in 13th place. He'll come in and loses a couple more. And also coming in is Daniel Ricciardo on lap 9. So he's bang on his strategy. Now Ricciardo is going to put mediums on.
Oh, that was quick. That's a double stack.
Yeah, so Ricciardo has put mediums on. He has to. It's part of the strategy. And what has Alexander Albon gone on to?
And Sargent.
Brand new soft, medium.
Sargent's going to... Sargent. It was Williams double stacking.
Oh, right.
Oscar, plan A or B? What do you think?
I think A.
So standard 2-stop.
Okay, so plan A for Oscar. So Megan's pointed out that I didn't see there. It's a double stack for Williams. Williams are the
mediums.
6th team in the garage, and they're on to mediums, brand new. So they've gone medium. Again, not on the list.
Go by the list!
They've reverse engineered the strategy as well.
They've both gone it.
So they must be on hards at the end of the race then. So they're going to take those...
They're reversing this.
So if that's the case, they're going to have to pit lap 20x33 for hards.
Which is when everyone else is pitting.
for mediums to lap the end of the race or softs. So Williams are going to be slow at the end of the race on the hard tyres.
They don't think things through, do they?
No, they don't. That's a bad strategy in my opinion. They're going to time it for a safety car and then try and bolt on a set of softs at the end. Now, Albon had one set of hards left, so did Sargent, but this is what I bet they're betting on, Megan. They might try and do 2 sets of softs. They've got 4 brand new soft tyres each if they might think about
Hamilton.
3 stoppers.
That's still okay. Rears are definitely dropping.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot today.
Well, he's got to get those to lap 10 to 15, so we're on lap 10 now, so the pit window is open for everybody who starts on those medium compound tyres to come in and make the stops, which in 20 minutes is quite a good run, actually, as well. The formation lap was 3.5, so it kind of balances itself out a bit. Up Eau-Rouge, into Radion, and into the pit lane comes Wolverine.
Gasly. It's coming.
Yeah. Now, he's put hard tyres on and started on the medium, so that's the correct strategy. 2.6 second stop for him.
Glad he didn't have that much of a bad thing with his car.
Look at Max Verstappen, 8 tenths behind Norris, but he's been stuck like that since lap 4. He has not been able to close him up as much as I thought he would.
He's saving his tyres.
Yeah. I'm going to change.
As is Norris. They're going on. I know for a fact that Norris is still sticking to plan A because they don't think it changes anything in their plans. So both of the McLarens are on their original plans.
I've kept an eye. I've opened up Max Verstappen's driver camera up here in the commentary box to keep an eye on him throughout the race. We're currently watching him live anyway now as Hülkenberg passes Gasly in 17th position, so that'll change it together. Hamilton complains about the tyres going off, but he's got 2.1 seconds already to Leclerc. Leclerc's pulled out a 2-second gap to Perez. Perez pulled out 1.6 to Piastri. Ditto for Russell. I think Sainz is going to be on that toe. So it's Sainz, Norris, Verstappen now closed up together in the Ferrari, the McLaren and the Red Bull. Yeah, it's ifs and buts. That's the thing. Just got to keep an eye on it as they come up towards 10, 18, 19. The right-left bus stop. We're watching the world champion of 21, 22, 23. Is that Hamilton or Verstappen? Hang on a minute. Verstappen box, and Russell box. Right, okay. So this is an alternative brave run here for Red Bull to come in. They're going to put the hard tyres on, the same as Russell. Russell gets out with a good stop, 2.3. I think Verstappen's, 2.7.
Hards.
Yeah, hard tyres for them both. So that is going on to lap... well, now they've got a choice here. Do they come in between lap 20 and 30, 28 and 33, or 30 and 35?
Middle.
Yeah.
If in doubt, always go in the middle.
Slap bang as we see Russell now behind Tsunoda, who's yet to stop on the... Actually, that's quite good. They've come up behind the leading pack, so they haven't lost any time or delta. So that's quite good. And did they overcut? So, well, Tsunoda, they've undercut everybody else. Now, Russell gets ahead of Tsunoda. But look at Albon, he just stopped. Ricardo, Hülkenberg, all out, Gasly, they've all stopped. They've all gone down. And Gasly did stop for these hard tyres, as we pointed out.
And Verstappen hasn't been able to get past Tsunoda.
No, he has not. Well,
he's stuck behind.
Well, to be fair, it's an RB. It'll just jump out the way as soon as it's close enough. But look, that's the difference. That 2.3 to 2.7 makes the pit stop a massive car gap away. And this is Hülkenberg getting ahead of Pierre Gasly. Oh, contact between the two of them. Oh, and more contact at the com. Hülkenberg ran the outside and Gasly got in the way there. Yeah, not too good there.
They're arguing over the teammates. Yeah. Hülkenberg's like, I have a good teammate. And Gasly's just like, can we trade?
Box for Hamilton. And, oh no, Tsunoda blocks Verstappen.
This is interesting. The junior team.
Piastri box as well. Charles Leclerc retakes the lead. Russell gets ahead of Kevin Magnussen, who goes to the inside line. Perez box as well. Russell passes Magnussen and Blanchimont. Leclerc leads. Sainz will take second. It's a Ferrari 1-2, and Hamilton is an unsafe release into the path of Piastri. He has to dive out the way. Is that a penalty coming for Lewis Hamilton as Perez jumps ahead of Piastri as a result?
It could be, yes. And it's... Does he get out of a path? No, he falls behind.
Crucially, though, is Perez. Look, there's Piastri.
It's chaos.
Russell gets ahead of Piastri in the pit lane, but that has put Perez ahead.
Why pit into the middle of traffic?
That is really strange, but look at Piastri. He's got much fresher tyres compared to that of George Russell, and they've come onto temperatures quite quickly. Piastri goes to the inside line. Russell knows he can't really go that defensive.
Oh, that was too easy.
Yeah, that was. Candy from a baby. And two same engines as well. Just better aeros.
That was way too easy. Leclerc boxing.
Has Verstappen got ahead yet of Tsunoda? Yes, he has. He must have done that in La Source. Didn't get ahead in Blanchimont. He had a go, but couldn't do it. Well, JT, this strategy race is turning weird because it looks like Ferrari now can have a masterclass here because the undercut isn't working. The overcut is working.
Yeah, absolutely. That is not seen that much here at Spa. The undercut is always more powerful than the overcut, but different strategies can make it work.
If we are getting undercut, let's go.
No, I don't think
That's
so.
not how undercuts work.
Piastri trying to go to the inside of Perez, coming through Stavelot. He's got a good run on the run out of Blanchimont. I just wanted to point out that it's an 18.5 second pit loss under green flag conditions here. And at the moment, as Leclerc comes in, he's got 17.4 to Hamilton, but crucially 21 seconds to Perez, which means it's a great run for Ferrari to get out ahead of Sergio Perez here, especially as Perez is being held down behind the Alonso.
Leclerc pits.
Yeah, and Sainz takes the lead. Norris goes second. Into the pit lane as well comes Fernando Alonso, but that is crucially held up. No, hang on a minute. Alonso's taken. Who's coming in the pit lane? Stroll pits. He was blocking. There's Leclerc. Right, Leclerc's in pit lane exit now. Russell goes. Hamilton retakes the lead, but Leclerc gets out ahead of Perez. So it's status quo in the net lead of the race. So the overcut's working massively here at Spa. So in all that confusion, are we going to see Piastri now with the DRS get ahead of Perez down the Kemmel Straight? He's looking awfully fast. He goes to the inside line, and Piastri moves ahead of Perez. Perez in P7 after starting P2, and it's a Calamity Jane situation going on.
Have you noticed something?
Yeah.
The nice little gap between, like, Alonso and the two current leaders of the race.
Yeah.
Nice little gap which they can use to improve upon, and they're still in the pit window.
Yeah, they are.
They're getting as much time as they can.
Well, argue, Sainz is on the pit window until 25.
Exactly. How much is Norris up to?
Right, did Hamilton have an unsafe release here? That's the question.
Yes.
It's borderline.
That was way too close.
They released him on time, but Hamilton had wheel spin.
So that caused him to be delayed.
And this is Verstappen. This was a Blanchimont. Look, he tried to go on the outside. Tsunoda blocks him. He has to lift off. Did he get through at the bus stop then? I looked down and saw that in the camera angle. Yes, he did. He got through on the inside. Tsunoda did not want to let him through. Tsunoda's really racing to show why he can be in Red Bull, isn't he?
He's just like, you aren't my team. You may be the senior team of the two of us, but you ain't the team I'm taking orders from.
And there's him getting ahead of Danny Ricciardo as well. Okay, JT, we've got to let you go to touring cars, I know, on lap 14 and 44 as Alonso pits. Hamilton moves back to third. What have you made so far of the Belgian Grand Prix?
It's been an all-right start to the race as Alonso pits from 6th, so that puts Verstappen back up to 8th. Surprised Verstappen hasn't made any more ground, to be fair.
Excellent. Thank you, JT. We will see you after the touring cars. We've swapped to Omi on the camera. He's just he'll be here shortly in the comms box. Hello, Omi. What have you been making so far of the Belgian Grand Prix?
Hello. It's been a very interesting race so far. We've, of course, had Hamilton taking the lead. Ferrari go one lap longer, and it seems like it's closed the gap from 2 seconds to 1.2. And then Piastri versus Perez. So lots of interesting scraps going on here at Spa.
Once again, Megan, an exciting Grand Prix. F1 2024 certainly is delivering now that everyone's caught back up again. But is it too late for the title?
I don't think it is too late for the title. Not really. I think it's close enough now that there is chances. I think, isn't it only like 76?
76 the gap with 11 to go. And decreasing now because Norris is second, and we're going to hear from Norris now.
Lando, 100% pace, please. 100% pace.
Get the feeling that's...
Basically, just go!
It's like, run like the wind.
McLaren do not want to screw up the strategy any more than they have done in the last couple of race weekends.
Exactly. So he better keep getting quicker, though it doesn't help that he's on mediums that are 13 laps old because Sainz can go longer. But if he pits for hards and then goes for another set of hards after that, his strategy could be quite safe.
Tell you right now, what the top two are gambling on here, safety car. That's what they need right now.
I'm gambling on that.
A safety car would put Norris and Sainz right in the mix. They want the alternative, but Norris should have boxed. I don't see why they've left him out there so long.
They've only left him out there so long because at the time Piastri was ahead of him, so they pitted whoever was ahead. And that's a tragedy now.
Opposite to what they did in Hungary, where it cost them.
Yeah.
And then Norris had a paddy. I've got a feeling Norris might have a different paddy. Should have boxed me first, but Lando, you just complained last week. I know what I said last week, just do it.
I think, personally, because I always think it's a good bet from certain teams if they...
Stroll radio.
Straight line speed is a joke.
Well, that's your car for you, mate.
Oh, I was going to say it's just him. I mean, let's have a look. Oh! Alex Albon! Nearly passing... Tsunoda's just a mobile chicane in the last couple of weeks, isn't he?
It really is.
I was down the Kemmel Straight. Albon goes to the inside line, and Tsunoda just casually drifts over, but Albon keeps pedal to the metal and gets through around the outside.
Okay. So, if they pick the driver, which they're not planning to, like... who they don't think is going to win the race, then they manage to get the second driver, the one who they think may have a chance, to actually
Yellow
go
flag.
for it.
Brief, Sainz and Norris, there was a yellow flag down there. I think Norris has gone off the track. Yeah, he has.
Yep.
Norris has lost a hell of a lot of time.
Maybe it's time to pit.
Yeah, Sainz lost a lot of time to Norris there. I think Sainz went off. Did I say Sainz?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
What I was saying was the fact that they could grab a lot of time if they try and make up the time there and kind of like increase the gap. But due to the off-just then, they have decreased the gap.
Sainz has gone off the track as into the pit lane comes Lando Norris from second place. He's going to drop down now behind Verstappen. So what's that done, McLaren? Absolutely nothing. Again, Omi, hard tyres. Really bad stop from them. There's Verstappen now going through.
2.3.
Yes, 2.3 seconds for Lando Norris, who is going to need to go on the attack. But of course, it's going to be in a DRS train, so it's going to be hard to pass as well.
Lando's asked for a lollipop to come into it as well.
I don't know what that was meant to be on the transcripts.
Lollipop, lollipop, lolly, 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 lollipop.
Okay, that brings him at 8th. That's behind Verstappen.
Look at Russell. Russell's in a Red Bull sandwich. You've got Perez in front of him. Verstappen to the right.
He could take one for the team. A lot of teams.
Just break.
It's like, take them both out.
Sainz off track at Stavolo.
Oh, imagine if Max was making a move and George just moved out of the way and he crashed into Perez.
Here it is. So he turns in, gets a rear slide and puts some just his front lefts on the track at Stavolo and the gravel.
Why did Lando lose time?
I don't want to say karma, but Sainz doing old Sainz things. Oh, hello. Oh, no. Deppel and Wolverine are battling together. Ocon on the inside of Gasly. Gasly keeps it through, but Ocon has passed Gasly for 13th position. And Gasly's going to have hang on a minute. This is Ocon getting ahead of Hulkenberg. Gets ahead.
Is that for telling to the movie? We don't know.
I don't know. I haven't seen it, but there's the Deppel Wolverine. Will we see it tomorrow?
Yes.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, back to the action.
Norris.
Fernando, we are going to try and undercut Carlos. We think it'll happen for free, but we want to do that. Then we'll worry about it.
You've already done it.
It's not going to work. Overcut's more powerful. But
you've already pitted.
And to undercut, you've put him behind everybody.
Yeah.
Omi, I still don't think McLaren's strategies is working. Their brain's gone loopy.
Yeah. I think there was a lot of criticism for Ferrari's strategy in 2022, but now it seems like McLaren are doing it constantly, especially when Norris has got a chance of the championship, so McLaren now cracking under pressure.
Down the Campbell Straight we go.
I really hope they don't crack under pressure.
Verstappen's struggling here, isn't he? I'm going to hit him.
I think I still trying to get them, mate. What do you think? Have a go.
Go on, Max, get your cookie. And as soon as he said go get him, he's really caught up behind Russell, hasn't he? I was like, okay.
It's like a dog being let off a lead.
I was about to say that. They've just literally let him off. What would Max Verstappen be anyway? Pitbull, probably.
I'm not sure.
George Russell always reminds me of a Yorkshire Terrier.
Well, we all know what...
Lewis Hamilton's definitely a bulldog.
Yeah, we all know that Lewis is definitely a bulldog.
And Charles Leclerc's a poodle.
Yeah.
Okay, Lando, Carlos has stayed out. We've already got the gap. So the opportunity here is to pass the cars who we've got a tyre advantage over.
fun. You're on the same tyre.
Okay, so basically, off you go again. Lando
Basically,
is
please
4
win.
seconds back to Verstappen. McLaren have taken the gun out of one foot and put it in their mouth instead after last week.
Why have they seen... Okay, so our first driver in the fight for championship, there is a good possibility that he might be able to catch Max. And yet they think, okay, worst strategies ever. Let's give them to him.
Do you know, a week ago, I said that. A week ago, I agreed with the fact that what McLaren was saying, that you can't win the World Championship on your own.
They're not letting him.
This week, I'm going to say, Lando, go for it. Win the championship on your own, because McLaren's strategy is about as useful.
Okay, can we actually go back to Lando's versions of the strategies? Because his seem to actually work out. He either gets near the top of the lead or he wins with his strategies. So please go back to his.
Wolverine's up to something as well. There comes Pierre Gasly. This is him getting ahead of Nico Hülkenberg on the inside line. Nicely done.
So what you're telling me, the Hulk is getting passed by Wolverine.
Yes! Line of the season. End of right there. Fantastic. Hulk is passed by Wolverine. Done. Get down a t-shirt. Line of the season right there.
And there's been a few.
Last year we had a high rake setup. That was one with Nick Homewood. I think we can all agree. I think we agree there. That is the line of the year from Megan.
It's going to take some beating, that's what I'm going to say. But yeah, line of the season.
Clip that. Thank you to Paul, who's put £2 in the super chat. Thank you very much, Paul. And we're making that soup. When are we making that soup again? Friday.
Yeah.
Is she back Friday? Friday, there we go. Is that from Carlos Sainz?
I think in plan B for medium. Plan B for medium. I think they cannot go to the end.
Right. Medium.
Let's wait a couple more laps. Okay, copy is what the end of that radio message said before it decided to cut out. Right, so plan B, the mediums can't go to the end. Well, that's true because they've all stopped to put hard tyres on, but they can go to that 23.
Reverse.
Yeah, they're going there. So they're going to take mediums lap 28-33 to the end, which they can do. So Ferrari, again... I really think Formula 1 needs Bernie Collins and Ruth Buscombe back. Hannah Schmidt's the only one holding the whole thing together right now in terms of strategy departments.
Why are Red Bull an alternative strategy?
They are. Okay, Perez is on mediums, Verstappen's on hards.
Why?
That's unusual to go on alternative.
Is anyone else an alternative?
No, not as far as I can tell. Let's quick look at the timing tower. Let's take a look, actually, to what Megan's on about. We'll show you the battle screen here. Take a look at the tyre graphic with the hards and mediums. The medium runners currently Perez, Albon, Ricciardo and Sargent used hard tyres for Tsunoda. As I said, he doesn't have any brand new left.
You'll never guess who's the only other team on alternative strategies.
Who?
RB.
So both Red Bulls,
Yeah.
all 4 Red Bulls on alternative strategies.
Yeah.
Is that Hülkenberg getting passed by Bottas? Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, around the outside. Into Lecombe. There's Perez, there's Russell, and there's Max Verstappen. Double home Grand Prix for him here in Belgium, of course. Born in Belgium is Max. Belgian mother. And of course, next time out, it's the Dutch Grand Prix, where I will put on my orange t-shirt again. I am honestly also considering getting orange shorts for £1 in Primark. Genuinely 100% thinking about that.
I don't think I own anything orange.
You've got that orange.
That's Mum's.
Well, you can wear that.
Well, in fairness, it would fit me now.
Yeah. Russell, under braking, can't get ahead.
Ooh.
Perez goes
Wobble
defensive. There's Ricciardo. Can we just point out that Alexander Albon's in 9th place?
Yeah, that's impressive.
Jess says, I'm surprised that Verstappen is not making much ground, as I thought it would be on the top 3 comfortably by now.
He was before.
If you remember, by lap 11 last year, he was already in the lead of the race. So it's lap 20 now, and he's not there. We're coming up to the half distance, by the way, of this Grand Prix. Longest track of the year, fastest track of the year, quickest race.
Yeah.
Here in Monza, two of the fastest of the year. Monza's always usually about an hour and a half. Hour 15. Sometimes last year we beat it, hour 12.
Science boxing.
Right. Right. Here comes Deadpool. On the man that never ages. And he gets through on Fernando Alonso. So Ocon gets ahead there of Alonso.
He really doesn't age.
Alonso doesn't age. He is Paul Wood.
He stayed the same. Fernando Alonso finally aged.
Yeah.
That was what they'll say one day.
That is what they're going to say one day. Lewis Hamilton takes the lead again in the Belgium Grand Prix with Charles Leclerc second. As into the pit lane after 21 laps comes Carlos Sainz. They've boxed him early.
Yeah, he should be out there for another 5.
Then again, yes, he should. Yeah. 24 laps those tyres can do. He's done 21. But he's on an alternative strategy. It's not even listed what he's on.
Oh my. Do you see how far he's going to come out that?
4 seconds behind Lando, yeah.
No. 6, I'm guessing.
Lando's gained... Oh, we'll wait for the come to the mini sector. Lando's gained 2 seconds here as Russell has a go on Perez down the Kemmel straight. He pulls to the right-hand side and gets ahead into the bus stop for the Lecombe chicane. Russell moves up to 4th, and now Sergio Perez is holding up Max Verstappen.
Okay. I can just imagine I hear Red Bull right now saying an Obi-Wan line. How did this happen? We're smarter than this.
Christian Horner's just turning now to Hannah Schmitz going, do you have a plan B? By the way, if Max Verstappen passes Sergio Perez in this race, Verstappen started 11th, Perez started 2nd. If Verstappen passes him, Perez can kiss goodbye to his Formula 1 career. Surely it's dead now.
They'll be saying, don't worry, we're still driving half a team.
That's Verstappen, dragging it all the way around. Helmut Marko just sat there as the Emperor. Do it. Come on.
Oh, when he sees Verstappen sim racing, don't do it.
Come on. What have you got, Max?
Me?
To be fair, would it be really ironic if Perez took Max out?
I kind of want that to... Oh, they're boxing him! Why? That would have been so funny because I'm not sure they've ever taken each other out before.
They've boxed Perez after 9 laps on the mediums.
How dumb!
They've boxed him 2 laps early.
Because he is a threat.
Yeah. And he's going on to hard tyres, brand new hard tyres. So Max isn't held up for that long.
2.2 though.
That's a good stop.
Yeah.
Mighty good stop. Omi, I think Red Bull are going to be looking for a new driver. Any suggestions in Zandvoort?
Well, you of course got your usuals. Apparently there's going to be a shootout at Imola between Lawson and Ricciardo. They're not really considering Tsunoda. We would consider Tsunoda, of course. That's what we're saying. But it doesn't seem like for Red Bull that they really want him. Or at least Horner. So, while we would probably put it Tsunoda, they aren't. So I'm not going to include Tsunoda in that list.
Ricciardo's on 2.2 seconds stop too. Yeah, I don't know why they're not including... It'll probably be Ricciardo, won't it?
Did Red Bull think that one through just then?
No.
Did they think that boxing Perez so that the championship rival can gain more points was wise?
And the man who's catching him, because now... Can I just point out? Hang on a minute. Verstappen has lost 2 seconds on this lap alone.
Oh my...
Norris,
how is Lando there?
Norris is within DRS range.
A lap ago,
Max went off. Max went off.
A lap ago, he was 2 seconds.
Max made a mistake down at Rivage. I've just seen it on the onboard. Max made an error, and that's why Lando's caught up to him.
Oh, that's funny.
Game on.
Perez.
We have any go on the streets.
That's how I know.
Maybe so.
That's again, that's just you.
Yeah. It's not a universal problem. I mean, Stroll is even quick on the straights right now. So, I don't know what to tell you, Sergio. I don't know what to tell you.
Lando is visibly closing, and he's been faster than Max in all 3. Oh, isn't it good to have Red Bull not as the fastest team? And that's not bad on Max or anybody getting with it. It's just nice to see that 4 teams with 7 drivers are that competitive.
They're still all upset that Newey is not there.
Yeah.
That is why they are not as quick.
And somehow the engineer, somehow they said it's not all about Adrian.
Where is he going?
Remember, is Ferrari, Williams, and Aston Martin. That's the top 3. Where do you think, Omi?
Well, it could really be anywhere. Rumors keep moving around that it could be Ferrari, it might not be Ferrari. But yeah, ever since he announced that he was going to, since Miami onwards, races have been good.
Yeah, actually, that's true. Ever since Miami, race has been good.
Especially Sergio.
Yeah.
Though, do you know who I think really needs it? Out of those 3 teams, I think Aston Martin's the one that needs it the most.
I'd agree, and they've got the facilities to do so. Now, here comes Danny Ricciardo about to pass Logan Sargent, 2 drivers who probably won't be in Formula 1 next year. Going to head round the outside, and Ricciardo pulls off one of the easiest moves. He's going to track Tsunoda with him too.
Ready for a bonus.
Plan A, 20 to go.
It's too late for that!
Well, we've passed half distance. This is halfway in the Belgium Grand Prix. Hamilton leads, Leclerc second, Piastri's third, Russell fourth, Verstappen fifth, Norris sixth, Sainz seventh, Perez eighth, Albon ninth, Ocon with the last point in 10th, Alonso's 12th, Alonso's 11th, Gasly's 12th, Bottas 13th, Stroll 14th, Magnussen 15th, Ricciardo 16th, Gasly is 7th. Oh, hang on a minute. Ricciardo 16th, Stroll 17th. Hang on a minute. What's going on with that timing screen?
Albon's pitting.
That's why. It's glitching like crazy. Okay.
Wait,
so,
what happened there?
Magnussen 15th, Ricciardo 16th, Sargent 17th, Tsunoda 18th, Hulkenberg 19th, shows out of the race. Pit windows open for those on hard tyres for lap 22 to 23.
Nico Hulkenberg. What's Kevin doing?
Kevin! He's 15th, outside the points.
If they ever go shopping in the supermarkets, that's what is shouted. Kevin!
I kind of want Magnussen to stay in Formula 1 now, just because of that. It's like, Kevin!
I need Kevin to stay in.
Something tells me Max
upset
and Lando are going to make an accident here.
Please,
Who
man.
locked up in the bus stop? Lando was... Oh, okay.
It worked out for him.
Oh, he did the Hamilton line.
And he slowed down.
Lewis remembers that line from 2008. Ricciardo passes Albon, by the way, so he's up to 15th. Magnussen's had his lap time deleted for track limits at Radion. How'd you go off at Radion that much?
Carefully.
Fair point. Carefully is the case. Here comes Yuki Tsunoda. This is to him to get past Sargent.
Is he weaving?
Yeah. Come on, Yuki. Come on, Yuki. He's around the outside of the bus stop. Go on, keep going, keep your foot in it. Oh.
Well, that wasn't very fair from Sargent. He was weaving on the straight.
Yeah, not allowed to do that. Move once, not twice. Sargent might be investigating for that.
I saw 4.
Yep, Yuki's swearing on the radio. Yep. Not bad. Sargent, on the other hand. Target +8 for Russell. Leclerc's looking at Perez, who stopped. Let's look at that average time lost in the pit lane, as I said, 18 seconds. That's during green flag running. It's written here. Norris. Track limits at the bus stop. Oh, we already knew that. Paul says, I used to despise Hamilton, but I've warned him recently. He's a lot more humble and kinder in interviews. Now I like it. Yeah, I do. Age has mellowed him.
It usually does mellow people.
Yeah.
It's refreshing.
Hamilton, the tyres are still good. The haiku of Lewis Hamilton, we've missed that. My tyres are dead, Bono. My tyres are good, Bono. Good night, Bono. He's not Bono. I can't wait next year to make that joke, because Bono's not going to Ferrari next year, so he's going to have a new engineer. So I can't wait for him to call him Bono and me go, he's not Bono. Because, if those of you who don't know, Peter Bonington is Lewis Hamilton's long-time suffering race engineer. But they're best of friends.
Yeah. And I think there's going to be a lot of separation anxiety between them. You'll just constantly find Lewis in the Mercedes garage just trying to hide in a bright red suit.
Yeah. Spying everywhere. Lewis Hamilton will be easier to spot than Santa Claus on a roof on a snowy night. Box for Ferrari and Leclerc. I wonder if Lewis Hamilton's starting to regret his decision.
Yes.
I must admit, looking at Ferrari the way they have been, and Lewis now possibly winning 2 races in 5.
I mean, I think he's thinking, where was this pace? For 2 years, where was this pace that we had?
Lewis Hamilton could be on course to win 2 of the last 3 races.
Parting gift.
And Mercedes to have won the last 4 in power unit supply. and he's moving to Ferrari. I mean, Omi, if I was him, I might just, consider scrapping the contract and staying at Mercedes. It's not too late, of course. He could change his mind.
Could.
Not too late, but yeah. It seems like he is on his way to Ferrari, and he's going to hope that it's quick next year.
Do you know what? Well, because Ferrari haven't got a second driver yet. I know they've got Hamilton, but they could easily get Sainz back. And Mercedes haven't got another driver. And Williams.
Leclerc's still on the driving thing.
Leclerc's on pit exit.
No, I mean, he's still in contract.
Yeah?
Yeah, for quite a few years.
Sainz isn't there?
Yeah, true.
Sainz is out, remember?
They can't. I hate that they're breaking up the duo.
No more can he draw him like one of his French girls.
Mm.
They did that in Saudi. It keeps getting replayed a lot on Sky. Here comes Daniel Ricciardo. The has-been versus another has-been. Gets ahead of Kevin Magnussen for 14th place. I'm being brutal to the drivers. This is what 14 races do. I've not been their friend this weekend.
Or any weekend recently.
Box for Hamilton.
Why has McLaren just completely forgotten one of Lando's strikes? They told him, right, we've just had our first strike. Hold on, Russell.
Easy. Pit stop and get...
No.
It's a two-stopper.
No. Yeah, they've said, right, we've just got our first strike, Lando. You know what for? Say, nope. That's your second.
Oscar Piastri now takes the lead of this Grand Prix.
Flashbacks.
Last driver to do back-to-back first time and second time victories. Lewis Hamilton, 2007. If I'm not very much mistaken.
I believe.
Canada and America, back-to-back. Week apart as well.
Like this one.
Yeah. I'm just trying to double-check that in my mind for all the last first-time winners. Yeah, Lewis Hamilton was the last one to do it.
Yeah.
Back-to-back first-time wins.
That's a long time to not done that before.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a little bit too close to the wall there for Lando Norris.
Excuse me?
Just looking on the onboards.
Yeah, he's getting close, isn't he?
Yeah, just a little bit too close. I was worried his front wing was going to take it. It got taken off.
It's the first time I've ever seen you look down anywhere other than that monitor. We have 8 monitors in the commentary box. It's the first time I've seen Megan use a third. Here comes Alexander Albon, passing Magnussen. Magnussen goes defensive on the right-hand side. Oh, and Albon should have been dead about 3 times in this Grand Prix. Just saying, for the drivers that cut him off down into the com.
We should start calling him the king of the overtakes because honestly, some of the moves he makes.
He's got the look. This guy's lucky.
The luckiest man in F1, literally, because he's hurt every single week and recovers and then gets hurt again.
He does, yeah.
Also, the amount of injuries he's had, he has to be lucky.
Piastri is just on the fastest lap of the race. Now, if this is going to turn into a one-stop race, then Piastri's got golden time here.
I don't know what to think.
Piastri's a tyre whisperer, and once he's out front, he can just go.
He's just like,
I'm sorry, but how would
Piastri?
And this season.
Good, Oscar. This looks good. Let's go.
Quick.
Yeah, this is good. I wish they would stop commentating on the radios, though, but
yeah.
Can I just point out something as well with 17 to go? How is Lando Norris going to react if McLaren screw him over twice and Oscar wins both races?
Badly.
I mean, yeah, Omi, this is not great, is it?
Yeah, not great. Lots of errors from McLaren as well. So they really need to sort it out. They really need to sort it out, especially when they have a quick car. They need to be able to sort it out and contend for those first positions because Red Bull can be very good with their strategy. Piastri.
Last lap was purple.
It goes without saying, but clean air is king.
Piastri's getting cocky.
He is.
Oh my God. Megan.
How will everyone react when if Piastri wins this race and he won last week too? They'll just be like, so what you're telling me is that Lando could have won last week.
What's even better, yeah.
Oscar would have won this one too.
Yeah. Lando would not be happy. Can I just put out what is even better? Is if, and this is a big if, If Piastri wins, as Sainz is a box from medium 7 laps.
Oh, that's early.
That is early. Perez did 10.
That's worrying.
If they do, Piastri wins this. How on earth are you going to explain that to Red Bull, to Max Verstappen, that he's not won since June? And the next time we race is August. 2 months.
With lots of therapy and sim racing.
Max boxes as well. And did he have an unsafe release there into the path of Sainz? I need Sainz's on board, and I can't get to Sainz's on board quickly enough. Here we go, Sainz's on board. I think I've lost it. Yeah, he had to brake. Sainz had to brake coming into the pit lane.
We might be good at the moment. Norris is in third, so I don't think they're going to have to explain things.
Current pace, Piastri's the fastest with Leclerc. Hamilton's 3/10 down. Norris 5.
Oh my God,
Russell,
Verstappen's
Perez
not
6.
even in that.
Verstappen's not even on the board. And he's now...
Perez is, though!
Yeah.
How?
Well, Max is now in
Where's Sainz in that?
7th on brand new medium, so he's going to take 16 laps to the end there, I think, Omi. That's just about good enough.
Where's Sainz?
No idea. Sainz is 8th. And
So Ferrari
is
pitched him
there.
after a 7-lap stint on the mediums.
Yeah. What tyres put on hards? 20, taking those 16 laps. Oh, that's doable.
Lando's faster than Piastri and Russell right now.
And Leclerc's just at the fastest first sector, 31.083. Personal best for him. Box. Norris.
We're pitting him first. When he's on 13-lap tyres.
That's a
Ferrari's...
No,
yeah,
it isn't.
Ferrari's extra 1 second long stop may have even cost Leclerc a good chance because it's 2.1 seconds and Leclerc's pushing on.
Yeah, you're right,
made
yeah.
their choice.
Piastri's out there on 18 lap on tyres. Lando now pits for the second time in 14 laps.
Boxing to overtake Russell.
Right.
2.4. Good and bad. Though they're pitting him first.
And there goes the 2 Red Bulls.
You still need
Perez ahead. Hang on, Perez is now ahead of Verstappen again. Because Perez boxed early.
Okay. He's behind Verstappen, but he could be fine. He could be fine.
Yeah, Norris right behind Max now as well as they come down the Kemmel Straight once again. So,
but they've made their choice.
But is Perez going to hold up Verstappen? That's the question. They've got to give a team order.
I hope that he does. Because
Max
that would
out
give
1 second, they've said on the radio.
Because opportunity.
Knox. Lando's pushing. He can see Max ahead.
Yep, and he's just like, nope, not a repeat.
If anything, it's just going to bring the Constructors' Championship down from between... It's going to... What was it? 51 points between at the moment.
Yeah.
So this is... And look at this. Max is looking racy behind
Also,
Checo.
you haven't even noticed.
15 laps to go. And yeah, I think I did. But hang on a minute. Max Verstappen gets ahead of Perez for 5th. Planned move was over. Team order. Okay, so releasing Max now into 10th.
He is on a leash. I knew it.
Yeah. Whoosh, there goes Hannah Schmitz. She's timed that strategy to do it right.
Boxing Piastri.
Now, what's the gap between Piastri and Verstappen? 23.2.
Front of him.
But
he can hold him up.
Leclerc's on 4-lap hold. The gap is 15. So this is going to be Leclerc. Then this is going to be Hamilton inheriting the net lead of the race. Oh, Piastri went long and he stopped, just like Norris at Silverstone. And that's a super long stop for Piastri, at least 3. It's a 4.4.
44, like Lewis's number.
And
oh
no,
my God.
It's a Mercedes 1-2, but is Piastri still going to get out ahead of Max Verstappen, who's coming down to La Source?
Yes, just.
Oh, it's just held out.
But he can hold him up.
Yeah.
So then.
Yeah, Piastri's going to have to really be fast in the exit, but that was close. That was really close. It's cost him time massively. But
Red Bulls are in a McLaren sandwich.
But Russell now leads this race and wants to do a one-stop. Look at Lando Norris on the back of Sergio Perez now. Down the Kemmel Straight we go. He's going to pull to the outside. Down we go. And Norris, well, to be fair, breezes past Perez with the DRS.
But Norris, that's not that hard.
Ocon pits, 2.8 second stop.
Next up is Verstappen, who's being held up kindly by his teammate.
Verstappen's 3 seconds back to Perez. Look, right, watch Piastri now on the onboard. So, again, Omi, it's just like at Silverstone with Norris. He comes in, stops too late.
Yeah. Yeah, just goes very long in his box. the team have to reposition, it means. And it means that the pit stop is slow because, of course, they're positioning for him to come in normally. But no, he goes in long. They have to reposition. And that costs McLaren time.
Is the Jackman okay? Oh, bit of a sore neck. Well, he got whiplash, didn't he? He got pushed back. Sarah's there, the medical delegate. She's just checking him out. And he's getting his moment on the telly. Hello, yeah, you all good? You all good? Yeah, all good, all good.
He's like, I'm going to be all over Instagram.
Smiles, yeah. Jackman gets jacked.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that from Piastri.
Oh, Russell.
George, just confirming you're happy to stay out. We've got 3 cars now. Yes. Window. Copy.
Russell wants to be left alone. He knows what he's doing.
He's just like, I'm leading. Leave me alone.
Verstappen's got the fastest lap at 1:46.447. First sector goes to Norris, 30.3. And then Piastri, second and third sector fastest of all, 46.5, 28.4. Verstappen, though, 46. And Norris, 44, 1:45.5.
Fastest lap.
Norris is 7 tenths behind Verstappen. Verstappen's having a miserable time in the last 5 races. Upgrades have not worked.
Lando, these tyres are robust. Happy to push on them.
Go!
Good work.
Go! Just attack!
Run like the wind.
Is Russell gonna win? He's second of a Grand Prix? How many Russell races? Third of a Grand Prix.
Yeah, third.
Second of the season.
Yeah, third.
Yeah. One in Austria, of course. Just repeating the cycle, are we now? If Russell wins twice before Max wins once again, Red Bull really are in turmoil, aren't they?
Russell's just happy Science isn't winning because every single time Science wins, he crashes.
Yeah, that's true.
Or when Crofty says that thing.
Yeah, what does Crofty say? You can see the crowd are on their feet.
Yeah.
You can hear the roars of the crowd or something.
That's it, you can hear the roars of the crowd who are on their feet. Oh no!
And then it's always Russell!
Out goes Russell. Twice he said that. Twice it's happened. It's happened.
I think London pushing behind me, so let me know what you want me to do.
Yeah, we're happy for you to push now, Max, as well. Happy to push.
Yeah, and he's...
Go, Dom, go.
You think Lando is pushing behind you? Well, it's a race, so I should hope so.
Yeah, it sounds like he's doing qualifying things, isn't he?
Yeah. Just because you're friends doesn't mean he's not going to try and annihilate you.
9 tenths the gap at the moment as well. Come on.
I would.
Yeah.
I'd annihilate anyone in that field. I want to win.
That's not a second. The gap's 7 tenths. That's wrong.
I'm like K-Man.
You are a bit like K-Man. Yeah.
I remember you said I'm like both of them, his father and him, when it comes to racing.
What tyres is Lewis now? What is Lewis on now? Says General Lewis is on 6-lap-old hard tyres. Russell 22-lap-old hard tyres. We'll show you in a split second if Lando doesn't get. He hasn't got DRS. So here you go then. There's what tyres everyone's on.
Every time he's only got 400.
Everybody's on hard tyres, bar Verstappen is on mediums and Hulkenberg. So everybody else is on hard tyres. That's basically the strategy run. Norris 8 tenths back now. You can see coming down into, where are we? Ravage.
You can just hear the song I'm Gonna Get You Little Fishy playing in my head.
Lando would be singing that type of song as well, you know he would. I'm going to give you little Maxi.
Oscar is mega quick. He has a chance of this one.
Oh, he is. 1:45.8. He's 2 seconds that faster than everyone in front of him. 1.2. 2 seconds faster than Russell. You're right, Naomi. Massively so.
If this stays the same, and if Lando still has the fastest lap, that would put their points up to the same thing, right?
Yeah, no difference.
Yeah. It would stabilise
status quo. Yeah. So basically,
I'd like that.
It status quos them, yeah.
I'd like if it status quo'd them.
11 laps to go. George Russell leads the Belgium Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton is in second position. Is Russell on course for a third Grand Prix career victory, his second of the season? Or is Lewis Hamilton on for win 105 and his second of the season? But he's 5 seconds back. Russell's last stop was lap 10. He's going to attempt to do 34 laps on those tyres.
Why not? Ocon's done worse.
At Spa! At Spa! What was his last lap time? He was improving. 47.3.
Yeah.
Piastri, though, is going to be the big threat, as Omi points out. He's right in the back of Leclerc. Norris and Verstappen doing battle. Oh, what a great Grand Prix. Formula One, I keep saying the golden age for the 21st century, the golden age for Formula One, I think was peaked around 2009 to 2013.
I agree.
So that maybe in 2012, that sort of era, it sort of peaked, didn't it? As it was always exciting, always on there. I think we're in for another golden age.
Hopefully.
It seems to be just developing now, doesn't it? I certainly think the Hamilton and Verstappen battle was great in 21. That was the best season we've ever had. But I'm all about consistent seasons and consistent teams involved.
Does that mean that
I think
Max
next year we
Verstappen
could
is-
get it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Next year could be the best year we've ever had.
Does that mean that Max Verstappen is Vettel? Hamilton?
Yes.
How much quicker do I need? Am I targeting to beat him or not? It's close. It is close. That's it.
First driver
That
you always
means
want,
no.
yeah, first driver you always want to beat is your teammate. Every time. 10 to go. That's around about 20 more minutes, just to remind you. It's 1 minute 47 lap times here at Spa. And they do tick down quite quickly. Piastri is lining up Leclerc, says Ed. Spot on. 6/10 the gap. He's got him out of the source.
He has DRS too.
Nice little 10 to go signal. Bandages are coming loose a bit.
Time.
Down we go. Here he goes. Leclerc looks like a sitting duck on the Kemmel Straight. Piastri moves out the outside. Can't get alongside. Leclerc runs a little bit too deep. But Oscar is ready to pounce on Charles.
Ooh. 4.8.
Yeah, that's the gap between Verstappen and Piastri. The gap between Verstappen and Norris 1 second now. It's closing up. Russell leading by 4.9.
Verstappen.
Sorry,
10
time.
laps to go. 10 of your finest, mate. Come on.
They won't be.
Don't think so. And Jess says, this has been a good race so far. Can I say F1 has been better than the feeder series this weekend? I think it has. Definitely we haven't been yawning, Omi. To things to find and say. I think, yeah.
I think it depends. I think if we had the feeder series racing in F1, everyone would make it to be better.
Yeah.
So, you know, feeder series racing, I think is always going to be feeder series racing is always going to be better. If F1 had the same races, the feeder series, I think it would be better. So.
Go on. Yeah, I agree.
Leclerc's radio. Do we fight or do we just take 4th place?
Oh.
Can they not push?
Fight for a podium? Well, hang on. Leclerc 9 lap old hards, Piastri 4, but you fight for the podium, don't you?
What is going on?
Yeah. I agree with you though, Omi. I think that's a fair assumption of what this race weekend's been about, really. Definitely think it's been better than F2. F3 was a good race.
Ocon says so. At this point, we think everyone is trying to go to the end.
Piastri's going to have another go. Leclerc's put his car to the centre of the track. He goes to the right to defend. Piastri's trying to swing around the outside, coming into the Ocon chicane, and he's done it! Fabulous move! Akin to Schumacher and Hill in 1995. And Piastri moves up into 3rd place. Can he gain 9 seconds in 9 laps on fresher tyres compared to the 2 Mercedes?
Bottas pits.
That was beautiful, Omi. He lined him up, hook, line, sinker.
Yeah, perfect. Leclerc always going to defend that, and Piastri sending it all the way around the outside. Leclerc pinches him in, and then Piastri able to get the place all the way around the outside, turning it to the inside. Phenomenal stuff from Piastri. And now the question is, can he go hunt down Lewis Hamilton?
Yeah, well, Piastri's won here at Spa before in the Formula Renault Euro Cup back in 2019. So he knows how to take P1 at this circuit, and he knows how to win in Formula 1. The gap visibly be closing now on our timing screens. It's already down 9.3. But Russell and Hamilton, 3.7, the gap between them. Now, would they hold station with Piastri behind? Are Mercedes going to implement it? I don't know. What do you do here for Toto Wolff? Is it hold station, or is it you're free to fight? We've just come out of one team order. What's that man there going to do now? And there you can see, that's the FIA delegate standing over him to make sure that he doesn't do anything illegal. in this situation. Jess says, if I was Merck, get Russell to let Hamilton by as Hamilton's on fresher tyres. Interesting, it's true. 26 laps for Russell, 10 for Hamilton, but there's 8 to go, so it depends how the tyres go. General says Russell has made this race more interesting by staying out. I absolutely agree with you. It's brought it alive a bit more. Definitely gives us a crescendo to end on. But are we about to see, a week on from McLaren issuing team orders to let another driver by for the win? McLaren do the same, sorry, Mercedes do the same thing as McLaren.
They are.
Russell's tyres look fine.
Perfectly fine.
There's nothing, Omi, what do you think? There's nothing wrong with us. Yeah, he's typing.
Hello.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Russell's tyres. Look at them, they're fine.
Yeah, indeed. I'm just quickly responding to a text message. So.
I haven't actually looked down at my phone.
Ricciardo passes Stroll for 10th position. And I think right now McLaren have only 2 hopes. Piastri gets a podium and Fat Lando gets past Max.
My phone's been on my desk. Feel how red hot it is because it's been getting notifications. Red. Usually I wear my watch.
Warm.
My phone is red hot on my desk right now. It's down to 30% battery as well. In the space of 1 hour and 8 minutes, it's gone down from 56 to 4 to 30 because during the race, all 10 teams ping me.
How long has it been since the Mercedes won too?
Must be Sao Paulo 2022. That must be the last time they had a 1-2.
Yeah.
Did Russell actually, was it 1-2 in Austria?
I think it was
No,
on
because it was Piastri and Sainz, I think, in second half.
So yeah, it was Sao Paulo 2022. Coincidentally, it was a Russell Hamilton that day as well. Lando's looking on the inside line, just letting Max know he's there. Hi, Maxie. They've got golf on Tuesday.
As long as they don't stand in the way of golf balls, they're fine.
Him, Max, Carlos, Lando, and Alex have golf on Tuesday.
Well, let's hope there's no tension.
Sainz on the back of Perez as well.
That's over 7s. Isn't it refreshing to have the top 8 drivers all in there? And Perez isn't a race winner of one of them this year. Ricciardo goes round the outside and gets ahead of Lance Stroll. Danny Ricciardo is into the points. Woo-hoo. Imagine if Piastri didn't have a rubbish pit stop. He would have come out ahead of Sainz. Ahead of Leclerc, yeah. Would have been in the lead, yeah. Cost him 2 seconds. It's been a long lap, this one, isn't it? It must have been, look, the gap's less than 2 seconds. Russell's slowing the pace down a bit out there.
Safety car window's closed.
Right. That is true. Well, yeah,
So McLaren it is.
if there's a safety car with 3 to go, we can effectively go red flag still and have a last lap shootout. So, safety car window never closes, but for a pit stop, yeah, it's closed. This is going to be interesting. Now we're watching Sainz on the back of Perez coming out of turn 1. Who says Formula 1's boring? The top 8 drivers are finally all together.
After so long.
And Perez still hasn't won.
And Verstappen ain't leading him.
I must say goodbye, Perez. I don't think he'll be there in Zandvoort. He started second today, he's going to be 7th. Joe wins a pick of 7th. Maybe not, because here comes Carlos Sainz to the outside. Perez tries to squeeze him. Carlos gets through. Carlos on, by the way, 10 lap tyres, Perez 17. But yeah, Perez, the top 7 are all race winners this year.
Which is weird to say.
Yeah. Perez isn't. That's one way to end going to the summer break, isn't it?
There are only race winners.
Yeah. Our only race winners, and all 7 of them are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
And we're about to get our double one.
Yeah. Another double. In fact, that only puts him and Verstappen as a double this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only Russell would have won more than one.
Hamilton, Russell 1.3 now. Very much closing in.
Lewis could do it, you know. Either way, it looks good for a British winner, doesn't it?
Wouldn't it be so annoying to Verstappen if next time out Lando won?
Yeah. I think Max will win in Zandvoort. There's no doubt there. Possibly for the last time in Zandvoort.
Do you remember that?
In 2025, that is, not 2025.
Do you remember that time where Lewis won the German Grand Prix and
Vettel won the British Grand Prix? Yeah. What was that? 2018, 19? No, 2018.
It's like road swapping.
Instruction: if Hamilton catches Russell, it's team orders.
No, you cannot do that.
If Hamilton catches Russell, it's team orders. George will just keep
Piastri.
It's a good lap, Oscar. Hamilton's catching Russell ahead. There's going to be action ahead. We want to be there.
6/10 far.
George, we'll just keep this clean. We've still got that gap to Piastri, 5 seconds behind Lewis.
I'm sorry, though, which one of them is further in the championship?
Russell's ahead of Hamilton.
Then it shouldn't be team orders. You prioritise whoever's first in the championship.
Oh, there's Bono. And on the other side is Russell's engineer as well. So they're wondering what's going on. But it's a clear instruction. It's going to be team orders.
I hate team orders.
Russell is not losing much time as expected. Imagine if Piastri is Tsunoda should get Perez to seat next. And Ed says, to be fair, just Piastri went long in his box. Nothing more that McLaren could have done to get him out faster. And it didn't cost him that much, but he still got Perez. He still got Leclerc. But Hamilton's now within a second. Omi, what would you do here? I've got a feeling there's going to be some team orders going on.
I really hope not, because I really want to see them fight for victory right in the end, because Russell's done this strategy for a reason. He's not interested in second, he's not interested in third, he's got a chance to win, and he really wants to win. Hamilton at the same time is going to be gunning for it as well, so please just let them battle it out.
Let's listen.
Just make sure you give each other plenty of space.
Let them race. Let them race. The gap at 0.9, think about Strat's 13, just make sure you give each other plenty of space.
If they do try and make it team orders.
Yeah. The FIA 3 bot's woken up and shows some violence. Go on.
Yep. Though Russell's the one that's staying with them next year. They should have a very good think about that before they try and give team orders.
Right. We'll find out. DRS though for Lewis still. He had it open.
Well, we've had Mercedes battling in the final laps at Spa before.
That we have.
Yes.
Okay. So how ego-driven is Russell going to be here? And will he hand the win to McLaren? Good point, Ed.
I don't want to be looking at these two right now.
Is Russell going to take Hamilton out of this race? Is Piastri going to get it? 3.8 the gap. So Russell is now holding Hamilton up. Piastri is closing again and again and again. I wonder if it will be DRS chicken for both drivers to help both Mercs stay ahead of Piastri. Not sure.
I'm more concerned about what the championship leaders are doing.
Oh yeah, gap 7 tenths per second between them as well. Good point.
And also,
Piastri, Leclerc, gaps.
Who's third in the championship?
Leclerc. Norris took second.
For free.
But
the three championship leaders.
Leclerc's going to get ahead of Norris, I think, at this point. Is Russell going to give it? We've got 3 to go. It was 3 to go in Hungary last time out. History repeats itself. Norris is 5 tenths back from Verstappen. Verstappen is also closing on Leclerc. We have 3 laps to go, and the Belgian Grand Prix has just suddenly turned on its head. Hamilton is going to play the DRS chicken once again as they come down towards Eau Rouge and up to Raidillon. I think this is going to be Hamilton's, isn't it? For another win here.
It'd be cool to take it away from George.
Russell's going defensive. Lewis knows he's there. Lewis is going to have the attack on the inside line. Doesn't do it. But the gap now is 4 tenths and Piastri's closing in. He's going to second that sector alone. Norris is 3 tenths back to Verstappen. Verstappen and Leclerc closing in. We need to look at the title battle because they're side by side.
Why are we focusing on the lead of the race and not the title battle?
Well, I've put Lando Norris's camera on my screen up here in the commentary box to keep an eye on it. Here we go. Look, with the DRS, Verstappen closing in on Leclerc. Norris is closing in too. So we've put it up here in the commentary box to keep an eye on it. But Norris is closing and Max is really being held up by Leclerc. Piastri's going to be safe in third.
Come on. Get ahead of him, because then you're 1 point closer to that championship.
6 tenths at the moment. It's getting close now. We need a split screen here. That's what we need.
Yep.
I think it's going to be a contact between the title contenders, says Jess. Omi, I think 2 to go. This is going to be anybody's guess. Piastri might actually win this. He's 1.9 seconds back now. He's closing.
This is going to be incredible stuff between the two Mercedes battling. Piastri closing in all the time. Verstappen close to losing the 1 second to Leclerc. Norris is right on the back of his title rival. This is all happening at the end.
Max made an error. Max made an error coming through and put a wheel on the gravel.
Come on.
Max made an error coming out of Stavolo. You keep an eye here and I'll keep an eye here because Russell has got the lead by 4 tenths. Piastri has gained in. He's 1.8 seconds back to Hamilton, now 1.5. It's changing again, but Lewis Hamilton, he's backed off coming through Rouge into Radio.
Oh, so close.
Lando's having a go. And Max as well. We need to keep an eye on both battles here. Right, Hamilton's not overtaking Russell. It's team orders there. Max has been told mode 7 as Perez goes into it. Can Lando get ahead?
Come on.
Well, Lando's going to have the DRS. He's 5 tenths back.
Come on, take him.
Lando is having the attack down into a Rouge and up the hill.
Come on.
Verstappen's going for the move on Charles Leclerc as well. We need to be seeing that, not that battle. We don't need to see Toto's finger right now. We need to see, because I think Verstappen's got ahead of Leclerc.
Nope, he hasn't, not just yet.
Down the Camel, no, nothing.
I don't think he can even see Lando coming. I think he's too focused on Leclerc.
We're looking at 2 different battles here, and the race director is focusing on for the battle for the lead, but the title battle is more interesting at the moment.
Yes, it is. Got more action going to it too.
Piastri might just be able to get DRS. Looks like we'll be around for a grandstand final here. And again, Max is making little tiny errors and Norris is just keeping him back. So Leclerc is giving DRS to Verstappen, who's giving DRS to Norris. Meantime, Hamilton giving it to Russell. And I think it's going to be a last lap showdown again in Spa.
Last lap showdown time. Hamilton closing in all the way towards the bus stop chicane as Verstappen nearly lost 1 second, so it seems like Verstappen versus Norris, but we don't often have battles for the lead on the last lap in Formula 1, but here we go, we're about to get one.
7 kilometres left then. It's the final lap of the Belgium Grand Prix. Piastri has closed in within a second. He'll have DRS on Hamilton as well. Hamilton goes wide, coming into a Rouge. Piastri got a better getaway, and there's a fly hits the camera on Lando Norris.
Why?
So we can't see what's going on to rely on the timing screen. Let's take a look now at the front. Russell, 6 tenths. Yeah, Russell, 6 tenths of a second. He's weaving left and right down the Camel Straight. Hamilton with the DRS. Russell knows where he's going. Piastri's got it as well. It's a 3-way fight for victory in Belgium. Hamilton can't do it into the chicane, but he's going to be on the back of Russell for the entire race. Mercedes going to go team orders. Now, we need to look at Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc because they're coming out of a Rouge and they are down now into Le Combe and it's status quo. They couldn't get through. So Leclerc, Verstappen, Norris still. It's such a hard track to overtake up, but here comes Oscar Piastri. So much as we come in towards Pirong, desperately trying to keep it through. Hamilton is playing the team game. He is trying to overtake, but the straights aren't long enough. And Russell is expertly defending. Piastri wants them both. And it's not over. The top 3 are now all within a second of each other as we exit Stavolo into Curve de Paul Frere. It's a straight run now towards the bus stop. Is it going to be yet another race running where Max Verstappen is not victorious? We come out towards the bus stop. Russell leading. Hamilton close behind with Piastri. 18 and 19 left. It's a Mercedes 1-2-3 in power supply for the first time in over 30 years. It's George Russell who wins a fantastic Belgium Grand Prix with Hamilton second and Piastri third. The top 3 separated by 1 second at the line, and it's Leclerc, Verstappen and Norris separated by another second for 4, 5 and 6. It's 7 for Sainz and Perez is 8th, but George Russell is once, twice and 3 times a Grand Prix winner here in Belgium.
And you know what this means for the championship, right? Status quo. Neither of them move.
Oh, boys and girls, what a performance!
Whoa, well done. Awesome work.
Oh!
Mercedes.
Oh, yes! Amazing strategy, guys.
Oh!
Megan.
You
Perez gets fastest lap at the last line, they boxed him for softs, which means it's Verstappen who does increase his lead in the title.
By 1. That's why they boxed him. They knew he couldn't win, so they decided, do you know what, let's take Lando's fastest lap away from him. Oh, that was right.
What a last lap. And of course, you drive the opposite way in the pit lane. George Russell, still with adrenaline, jumps into his team at Parc Fermé. Omi, that was fantastic. Grand Prix racing is back. We go into the summer break. Max Verstappen hasn't won since June.
It is absolutely crazy and it's absolutely wide open. Anyone could be winning races. And today, it's George Russell beating his teammate Hamilton and Piastri chasing them all the way to the line. Formula One is absolutely back.
Hamilton tried. He finishes second. 201 podiums now in Formula One. 3 podiums in a row for him. Oscar Piastri gets 3rd place, but Russell wins the Belgian Grand Prix on a one-stopper. What?
How? He said he wanted to do it.
He's done it.
He wasn't the only one to do that too.
Lando Norris is parked, of course, at the exit of the pit lane because it's we go down the wrong order here in Spa, so they all don't do the cool-down lap. They all come up the wrong way in the pit lane because it's a 7-kilometre track.
Still annoyed that it isn't stabilised.
It's a British 1-2 for the first time since Sao Paulo in 2022. It's a Mercedes 1-2 in the same distance, but it's a Mercedes engine 1-2-3 for the first time in decades. Wow! Now that is how you motor race. Hamilton congratulates George. I'm sweating buckets after that.
I'm annoyed that Perez ruined the stabilisation.
I've got about an hour until my last race of the day. Can I have that ice cream?
What ice cream?
There's a strawberry cornetto. That is actually mine left because somebody ate mine one.
Then eat that.
That was fantastic. I know JT came back in, but I don't know if he's ended the race or not.
I knew from the moment I saw Perez get that second sector faster.
45.
I was just like, don't you dare.
45.309, yeah. Slow first sector, quick second sector, personal best third sector. But he did it at 1:44.701. Race of the season, in my opinion, says Jess. Oh no, Silverstone still was a fantastic race, I think. But I think that's up there, definitely. I think that's number 2. But
wouldn't say race of the season fully. No, it's up there though, yeah.
It's up there.
I need to write.
Not much happened in that race. In terms of drama.
No. Yet again, I've still got room on the page.
Look at that, 1-2. And a Mercedes 1-2-3. Here's Russell.
Amazing strategy. You guys are the best. Come on.
And then the next.
Do you know, I'm getting bored of this Mercedes domination. 3 out of the last 4 races. 4 races, all Mercedes power units. It's a bit boring, isn't it?
Tire whisperer. Tire whisperer.
Tire whisperer.
Toto calling it the Tire Whisperer.
Who was driver of the day?
Have you got the cornetta? Have the cornetta, you deserve it. Thank you, Paul. I will. Driver of the day. I don't actually know who the driver of the day is yet. It hasn't been announced. We shall wait to see who driver of the day is. Josh T, have you finished towing cars?
Hello.
All done?
Looking at that, I'm guessing Russell won, and I did see the checkered flag moment. There we are.
Good. Yes, Russell won it, Hamilton second, Piastri third. All 3 separated by 1.1 seconds.
Nice. Oh, Josh, you have got a race 2 to watch.
I always do, don't I? Is it raining yet?
No, but penultimate lap.
Oh.
Winner. Oh, Gunther.
Gunther Steiner to do the post-race interviews. A lot of swearing coming up.
This will be a long one.
Yeah, here we go.
As the
Hi,
microphone in
Oscar,
his hand.
congratulations, a fantastic result. You're third, you know. I mean, again, a podium. You keep on bringing them. Did you think you can get the Mercedes after the last stop?
Honestly, yes, I thought I could, but yeah, I mean, clean air was such a big difference today. Once I got a little bit of clean air in the middle stint, I picked up a lot of pace and managed to get a nice tyre delta for the last stop, but clearly didn't need tyre delta. You just needed to keep going, as George showed. So no, happy with the result. I think we managed the race very well. I think that's the second or third time this year we've tried to run over the front jack, so I'll try not to do that next time. But no, very happy with the result, and I don't think we could have done too much more.
What was missing in the end not to get to P1? What do you think? Was it strategy? Was it the speed? What was it?
I think just not quite enough speed. I think it took me a couple of laps to get past Charles, and I really overheated the tyres doing that. But yeah, I mean, clearly the pace for George staying out there on one set of hards was the right thing to do. So we just didn't quite have enough pace to mow him down. Even Lewis, you know, didn't quite have enough. So I think we did a lot of things right, gave ourselves the best opportunities we could, but in the end, wasn't quite enough.
It must be a good feeling to go into the summer break with the podium and getting ready for afterwards. How do you feel about the next races coming up?
Positive. Yeah, I mean, it's been a really good couple of weeks for myself and the whole team, of course. You know, a lot of points. You know, we still made inroads on Red Bull today, and that's a really positive thing going into the break. I think everyone's looking forward to a bit of a break. I know I am, so I can heal up a little bit. But no, it's been a fun couple of weeks, and looking forward to some time relaxing and coming back even stronger in the second half.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Enjoy the summer break, Oscar.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
I'll go on the
You have, yes.
What's the date?
Sorry?
Hi, Luis. Congratulations to P2. You know, it's a fantastic result for Mercedes. I want to. I mean, did you expect this starting the race or starting the weekend?
No, we definitely didn't. And I mean, first I have to say congratulations to George and to the team. No, we had such a disaster on Friday. The car was really nowhere, and we made some changes. Hard to see what it was going to feel like, obviously, because of the wet yesterday. But the car was fantastic today, and we really owe it to everyone both here doing a solid job through the pit stops and strategy, and yeah, and the guys back at the factory.
Yeah, as I said, it's a fantastic race. How tough were the last laps behind George? How much were you tempted to attack and to try to do it?
I mean, I was trying to get closer, obviously, but George did a great job on going long on the tires. Every stint I had tires left, but the team pulled me in. So, yeah, unfortunate, but it is one of those days.
You for sure must be pumped up now for what is coming after the summer break, because your car, your team is performing very good in the moment, not only now, but the last races. So do you think you can go for the championship?
No.
You never know.
High hopes. It would be high hopes. But yeah, I mean, if we can continue this kind of performance as we've had the last few races, which has been fantastic, I think if we can start our weekends off a little bit better, hopefully we can continue. I think obviously the McLaren was very strong today, but we were just a bit further ahead early on. But yeah, we just got to keep pushing.
Congratulations and enjoy the summer break. Congratulations, George. I'm almost speechless, you know, from your race. I mean, that takes a lot. But anyway, a race with 3 cars at the end in 1.1 second, fighting every little bit. So how tough was it in the end to hold off Luis?
Yeah, amazing result. We definitely didn't predict this win this morning in our strategy meeting, but the car was feeling really awesome, and we made a lot of changes from Friday night. And the tyres just felt great, and I just kept saying, you know, I think we can do the one stop, and the strategy did a really great job. And also, you know, well done to Lewis, because he really controlled that race, and circumstances were slightly different. I'm sure he would have got the victory, but, you know, 1-2 for the team was such an awesome result and such a great way to go into the break.
So who was the genius behind this one stop? Who was the genius behind that one?
I mean, I was focusing a lot during the race, so I'll have to listen to the radio comms back, but it was, you know, it was a team effort. You know, Joey, Leo, all the strategy guys did an amazing job, and, you know, always it's that team effort. So we rolled the dice, but it was only possible because the car was feeling really great, and the pace was there. So, yeah, 1-2, such a good result.
Yeah, I'm sure now you cannot wait to get if the summer break over and go to Zandvoort to the next race. I think because I think you are pretty hyped up to go to the next race, because I think Mercedes as a team now is in a good position to win more. I mean, It's your third one this year, but
absolutely, yeah, it's three wins in 6, I think it is for us now. I'd want another race next weekend, to be honest. Just feeling so good. The team have been working so hard, and so well deserved for everybody back at Brackley and Brixworth.
Perfect. Congratulations again. Enjoy the summer break and see you in Zandvoort.
Lewis Hamilton has been awarded Driver of the Day, which is always great news.
It took a long time to find it out.
Yeah, let's see what the drivers have to say in the cool-down room now.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe he actually made it work.
My tyres were fine, all stints, and nothing I could have done as well.
As soon as you get close to someone, it's impossible. Like I could tell as soon as you got to George, it was just game over.
Stickers.
Oh, here's a little incident.
Verstappen needs the title, 275 points, Norris 197.
Where did
79.
79? How's it gone on?
I thought Max was going to be a bit quicker than that.
What did he come?
Fifth, I think. This wasn't great.
Here's George.
Surprised Red Bull's going to come through more.
I think
the medium was not the right choice, was it?
No. Didn't even need 2 halves, just needed 1.
But I think every single lap the track was gripping up and it was getting better and better.
Yeah. But also, as soon as you get clean air, it was...
Oh, well, that is different. Jess says, another race where Red Bull went on the podium. Perez has definitely gone from Red Bull, I am sorry. I think you're right, though. Let's hear, though, what Toto has to say with Ted.
By your own admission, you were nowhere on pace, and it's a 1-2.
It's incredible. We were nowhere. We changed a few things on the car, and today we've been clearly ahead of everyone.
And George made it happen for him. There were no orders. They were free to race. Lewis on much fresher tyres. How did George keep Lewis behind?
Yeah, we didn't think it was possible, but at a certain stage we said let's stay out because we were going to finish 5th anyway in both scenarios, and he stayed out, and at the end he made it last.
Okay, congratulations. We'll catch up with you later. What a result for Mercedes. Thank you.
Megan's just noticed the same thing that we have.
Oh my God.
What?
Lap record was a 146.286. Perez has broken it.
Yeah, with a 144.701, yeah. I love how Megan's noticed that because she's... I've always berated Megan. I do my little commentary notes and have them up here. Megan started doing commentary notes this season, and it's actually coming in handy, isn't it?
It's useful.
That's because notes are useful.
Penalties.
Notes are useful.
Weeks.
Third career win for George Russell, and in his You could hear several of the Max fans down below chanting Zandvoort, 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 as that's the next race. But George Russell is a 3-time Grand Prix winner and wins the Belgium Grand Prix. Mercedes get yet another race victory under their belt. It's their 4th of the season, making it their 129th career victory in Formula One. Tom Christiansen, the legendary Le Mans winner 9 times, presents the Constructors' Trophy to Mercedes. Lifts it aloft as well. Lewis Hamilton picks up his 3rd podium in a row and his 201st in his career.
It's a big trophy then.
201, no doubt. And 3rd for Oscar Piastri. A week after his maiden Grand Prix win, he's followed it up with another dominant drive, and he was catching them at the end. And now, as Formula One, as Mark Webber's finally here to see it this weekend, because he was in London last week, we go into the summer break with champagne time! Formula One has had 7 winners in the first 14 races. We've had 2 repeat winners and 5 one-time. What are we going to see in the final 10 races as Max Verstappen tries to cling on with what vastly seems as a car no longer the dominant, and Lando Norris hunts him down for the world title? Battle recommences in a month's time in Zandvoort in the Netherlands. Let's take a look then at the final race results. George Russell is victorious. A 1:47.113 was his last lap and his best lap, as he held off Lewis Hamilton in 2nd and Oscar Piastri in 3rd. The top 3 separated by 1.173 seconds at the line. Charles Leclerc holds off 4th place, with Max Verstappen again finishing 5th, with Lando Norris chasing down for 6th. Carlos Sainz in 7th makes it all 7 drivers who are victorious this year inside the top 7 going into the summer break. Sergio Perez started this race 2nd. He drops down to 8th and could be facing his last ever drive with Red Bull. Let's see what happens in the summer break. Fernando Alonso, a great drive from him for 9th. Esteban Ocon collects 1 more point as well for the top 10. Still to come, Netherlands and Italy, the final European races. Azerbaijan is sort of the Asia-Europe trek continues on before the night race at Singapore, a dueling battle between them. And then it's not over, as what we usually do to Japan, but an America's trip. USA at Cota, Mexico, then over as well to Interlagos and back to the streets as well of Las Vegas. And then the desert rounds out in Qatar and Abu Dhabi in the Gulf Fair state where the season began. The season will end. 10 races left of F1 2024. Who knows what's going to happen next? Ricciardo's 11th, with Stroll 12th, Albon 13th, Gasly 14th, Magnussen 15th, Bottas 16th, Tsunoda 17th, 18th for Sargent, 19th Hulkenberg, Zhou Guanyu the only retirement. The Dutch Grand Prix, 23rd to the 25th of August. That's when we're going to be next out here as well.
Feels
Is
so
Omi,
long away.
It does, doesn't it? Is Omi still in the commentary box? JT? Is Omi still here?
Hello.
Hello, Omi.
Hello.
Great. Closing thoughts from you then, please, on that amazing Belgian Grand Prix. Got ahead of myself.
Amazing Belgian Grand Prix indeed. It was phenomenal action, lots of different strategies and great stuff from Russell to take the tyres all the way to the end. But hopefully the words that you just said before you threw down to me, a good Dutch GP, does take place when we do go racing at Zandvoort, and after the race we're able to say those words once again. So cannot wait for the Dutch Grand Prix, should be pretty exciting. So let's see who's going to be able to take victory.
Jess has said a fun fact, 4th race in a row where we've heard the British national anthem, Austria, Britain and Belgium for drivers and Hungary for the constructors. Sergio Perez got the fastest ever lap around Spa on the new layout, 1:44.701 in the race. Lewis Hamilton is driver of the day. JT, what you saw of the race, what did you make of it? And what do you make of the whole weekend as a roundabout way?
Yeah, it was an absolutely incredible race from what I saw of it. And, well, we've got the Dutch next up, and Russell, British manufacturers, 1, 2, 3, which is good to see. For touring cars, Josh, you would never think that side by side for the lead on the penultimate lap through the Jim Clark S's would work.
Well. Yeah, that ended well. Oh, I'll go watch that then before race 3.
It ended well. For the Formula 1 weekend, it's been a good weekend overall. We'll see what happens next time out at Max's home race, the Netherlands. And I love trying to not sneeze while having a sneeze and fit while talking.
You can stop now. Thanks, JT. Megan?
I thought it was a very good race, very exciting, and I can't wait for next time because I find a month a torture and I don't know how off-season is going to handle again.
Well, we've got MotoGP next week at the British Grand Prix, so that helps.
It does.
Then you got a week break.
But still.
Then you get a week off, and then you're not here in Austria. Oh my God, you're not here for MotoGP Austria.
No, I'm not.
Oh, Maddie, Julia, one of you is going to get called up to the box. So you are going to miss one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, my thanks to Megan, my thanks to Jack, my thanks to Omi, my thanks to JT for your company this weekend as well. My thanks as well to Richie for practice too. Belgium Grand Prix then, a 4th race running where Max Verstappen is not victorious. We go now into the summer break with it being 2 months since he last won. What on earth are we going to see? Oh yeah, what's the track we go to next? His home Grand Prix at Zandvoort. Formula 1 in 2024 has become unpredictable when we thought it would be predictable. Have a great summer's break. We'll see you at Zandvoort in a month. Bye-bye.